and welcome back to Riled Up. I'm Dan.
I'm Andrew, player.
I'm a collector. And today looks a lot like last week, but I've got heavy hitters here. So we've got a crazy news week and some boxes to open. Trying out a little bit of this new format of doing some openings and talking while we talking, I guess.
Oh
But
yeah, but we have got so much to talk about. Like maybe while you're just trying not to cut yourself, you know.
yeah, well, how
So
about this? Well, how about this? Before we dive in, because I missed this last time and it irritated me. So let's go over the hunt real fast. What are we hunting for? Not the hunted. We're hunting for heavy hits. I'm just gonna run through these super fast. Our top 10: Kasai, all the adult heroes, Boomin, young heroes in the dumpster, all under $20. But Kasai of the Golden Sands, 196. Balance of Justice and Cold Foil, 189. Grains of Blood Spill up here twice. Actually, so is Balance of Justice. Balance of Justice has its rainbow foil at 80. Grains has its cold foil at 154. And then it is again at the number 10 slot at... Oh, no, this is at 80. I'm sorry. I'm getting... Where's Balance? Balance. Oh, sorry. Rainbow Foil Balance at 115. Rainbow Foil Grains at 180. Deathmatch Arena sitting at 145. Probably one of the more valuable fables, actually, at this point, now that I'm really thinking about it.
it is really niche, and I feel like the people who like Ultimate Pit Fight want it. And to be honest with you, out of all the location fables, I probably want that one the most. Because I don't play Prism, and even Enigma doesn't use the Mist Veil fable. So I just, like, if I ever play UPF, which I do once in a blue moon, maybe if more people played, build up the casual scene more, then it would be a lot of fun. Like, if I was building a deck for UPF, I would want to put Deathmatch Arena in it if I had one.
I think that's the time for casual. I'm seeing a lot of sales that indicate a lot more blitz, a lot more commoner, and I think it's almost a shame. I think that heavy hitters came out when it did and isn't coming out next, because I think the community's ready for it now. But
This is just anecdotal. One of our locals, they were in line before me yesterday night to get some cards, and they bought a case of heavy hitters along with their case of the hunted. So, I think that newer players, because they also know at least one other person that they play with at college that sometimes comes to armories, sometimes not, whatever. But I would not be surprised if they were, taking that to draft and sealed with. Like, it's a
that'd
really
be
good
cool.
set, and it's cheap right now.
It's so cheap.
People aren't super excited about it, but like if you want to play the game and experience it, great set.
Yeah, I'm really glad I got these as cheap. I think I got them for like 67 a box. I just bought like 4 loose boxes and it came in a case. But I was very shocked to see them down that low, so I immediately bought them up. Because I wasn't really planning on buying that much more sealed recently, but here we are. Um, oh, and to finish up these photos here, KO, Armed and
Heyo.
Dangerous, 110. Victor at a glorious high 106, and Betsy at an even 100. Well, 99.99, but we'll roll her up to 100. And then what you're looking for, I believe, right? This
Yeah, the
this
Bone
wonderful
Breaker.
brute. Yeah, Apex sitting in at 77.72.
Like, I'm looking for Bone Breaker, Marvel Victor, if we happen to swing it. Maybe Grains of Blood Spill because Liv's playing Fang, and Grains of Blood Spill is pretty decent for Fang. Um, hmm. Other than that, some great hits to point out would be we're looking for definitely the M Blade
Blade
Flurry.
Flurry. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a $30 hit in the
45. Oh,
Majestic
yeah.
slot.
Yeah. 45 foil. 30. Yeah. 30 non. And
Nasty Surprises going up. That is surprising to me.
Actually,
But
Kasai went
speaking
up.
of speaking of
Kasai. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
speaking of prices going up, that is the news that I was very excited to share with you. This is the hot off the press news. I just was in the Wall Street chat and saw them talking about it, and I went and verified, and I even saw another sale happen like right as I was watching it. Like I saw one number, and then I went back to verify that I wasn't taking crazy pills, and the number was higher. So did you already know that Dynasty had been creeping up?
Well, yeah, because I think I pointed out to you, like, when it got bought out, there was only like one box of Dynasty left at some point last week. So the price
Sure.
is getting a little ridiculous with that.
Well, so now the single boxes are up to 200 apiece. Okay. And I just saw somebody buy a case for $79.99. It just sold, and it was hilarious that for a second there, Show Pony was the low, and they were like, "Yeah, no, raise the price." So, well, there's another person. Well, actually, I know who that is. Probably that just put that up there, because I feel like 800, if you get $850 for a case of Dynasty, man, like if you've been sitting on it to like try and make some money, you just doubled your money. Hell yeah.
Right?
But that's the crazy news, cuz so Dynasty is apparently going to the moon, and also Outsiders is probably about to go to the moon because there aren't any cases left on market.
Outsiders has been on that bubble for a minute. I feel like, I mean,
it's all gone.
It's all, yeah.
I mean, there's boxes, but we're talking handful. Like it's about to be a $200 box too.
Yeah, we were talking about, I think Outsiders with the when we were going over the EVs, like, it was definitely worth, like, if I had $400 to buy a case, I would have bought a case of Outsiders over the Hunted, I think. So, like, I don't know. I have a lot of faith in, I mean, Outsiders it's had its time to sit, and now, I mean, it's
I just love how we could go back to, like, what was it, the first Riled Up or the second Riled Up, where we talked about, like, you know, how fun a set is to open. And obviously this was before the price increase, but you just were like, yeah, Outsiders is dog shit. There's not enough M's. The M's are too far apart.
No, I think my biggest problem with, well, that is true, but because it's just the most awful feeling case to open, hands down. I don't think anyone enjoys opening it. Like, I mean, it has a lot more to do with pack layout than it does like anything else. Like the fact that you can get just a single rare in a pack is gross to me. I don't know. I do not like that at all. So
I think it just doesn't bother me because I really just don't even care about rares that much. Like, I mean, it just is what it is. Oh, a reel in. That thing might be spiking because it's pirates, you know? So we heard about the high seas coming out. You know, there's a guy with a crossbow. Maybe the ranger is gonna get a crossbow. That would be pretty cool. A one-handed crossbow and a one-handed sword.
Oh, you don't think they're gonna go like the Vala route and do two single-handed crossbows?
I think that's a little silly, but maybe they will.
I mean, this is a world of silly things. I mean, if I can have a four-headed horse with 10 legs tentacle its way down the hallway, someone can shoot 2 crossbows. That's,
sure.
like magic crossbows, or, you know.
I don't know. I guess I didn't really like the Demon Hunter in Diablo 3 very much.
Oh, I probably mained Demon Hunter. Let me find out my garbage can. Oh, you.
Yeah, I was more into like the the paladin, I think, is what I was playing, because you basically just ran around while hammers and other shit that flies around you does all the dirty work.
Yeah, I mean, Hammerden was super popular, but actually, I mean, D3 Paladin was mostly that. I forgot what the term was for it. You basically just had like 100 horses on the screen all the time. And,
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't remember, like, it's been so long since I played it. All I know is that it was the type of class where you just sort of like press a button and you're like, oh wow, there's a lot of shit on the screen.
yeah.
But yeah, I cannot believe the way that the prices of these has just skyrocketed. I wonder what this is going to mean. Like, I mean, I saw some people talking about, well, I better work on getting my Marvels from Dynasty. And if the FOPO really hits, like, Crown of Dominion has sold recently for like $160. But now it's up there for 244 is the low. It looks like recently the high sale price has been 200. But I mean, if you're thinking of, you know, a legendary that is a Marvel legendary, like $240, I don't know. That doesn't seem like much to me for a box that is already $200. I feel like if that is a real price, that Crown of Dominion Marvel is going to go up even further. And that's just from collectability standpoint, because, you know, if you really want to care about usability, you can definitely use it in Dromai, in Living Legend.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, you can also, I don't know. I guess there's other heroes that might want to use it. Oh yeah, Aurora, because getting the gold is another go again if you want to do like a combo turn with Aurora. So you still have not hit anything. This is, I can tell you bought this box.
What? I know. 4 packs in, you're like, this is a garbage case. I don't know what you're thinking about or whatever. Yeah. I don't know, what's Reeled In at? I don't even know. Is it like $1?
Oh, let me check it out. Reel In is probably, I mean, so I think that Reel In is probably going up a little bit just because it's a pirate card. Oh yeah, it's up $4. So I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at, but that's an imaginary $4. That's people buying in because they think it's going to be good for ICs. Which,
Yeah.
you know, maybe it will. I've already thought that it's a half decent card, because if you play Riptide, you're already probably familiar with trying to play like a grindier game. Like, you can't tell me that you haven't thought about pitch stacking the Reel In with the other traps so that you can, you know, get all your traps and then throw them all out and have like 4 pings, maybe more if you do like a pitfall trap in there as well or something, and you just kill the opponent like a Kano on their turn with a Reel In. I think that's possible, but, you know, maybe it needs the help for that. Ooh, foil dissolve reality?
Yeah.
That is something. That's $6.
Nice. That's 2 expansion slot cards already. Woo, $10.
So what, only $70 more in value you need to pull out of this?
I need a whole lot
The
more.
the one box anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, because I have to go 15% over. There's another Majestic. I guess it's Majestic season, though I don't think Reckless Charge is worth much.
Nah. That doesn't have any, KO doesn't actually play it, even though it's a KO card. They keep making specializations for KO that are like, do you guys like rolling dice? We think you like rolling dice.
They do really like that. I'm not really sure why. I'm just happy to get some more tokens. People like to dump tokens on me in bulk when I buy a bunch. But boy, do tokens sell. Tokens sell better than other cards almost sometimes, it feels like. Like, I had an order of, like, it was like 49 cards, and then almost like one of every hero I had sold in it. And just, you know, everything else. And a lot of times, like, I think after last week, I had a whole bunch of the same order. It was like one blood rot, one inertia, one frailty, and oh, what was the other one? A silver, I think. They were all, yeah, it was interesting. Man,
Sounds like they were trying to do some kind of like assassin package.
Yeah. Shift the tide of battle. I don't know where that's at. Am I just pulling every low M?
Yeah, basically.
Nice.
You're pulling all the
This
bad
is
ones.
a standard me box. Last week you saw an Andrew case. This is what my cases are normally like.
Yours takes a while to warm up. You got to get about 7 cases in before you hit fire. Standing order. I think that is nope, never mind. It's not something. I like that card though. It's underrated.
Rage Gold. Wait, is it this one?
What?
Hold on. Just a printer. Print dot.
Oh. Dot. Oh, I see it. Yeah. That looks more like a scratch.
That's what I thought, but well,
Oh, I do have to eat my words. And I'm not gonna eat all of them because I do think that most of the reason I said that you were getting the clown car if you bought Ring of Roses was the price. Ring of Roses is down to like $1. Okay.
No. Oh well.
Ring of Roses is $1. The cold foil is still $20, but you know it's something. But yeah, if you play Verdance, you definitely want the Ring of Roses because I didn't think that one card would make a difference, and I still don't think it made a difference that much. Like yes, it's a really good card, and I mean, every bit matters. I'm not trying to downplay how good of a card the Ring of Roses is, but Majin Bay took down Battle Hardened Portland on Verdance pretty much right after Ring of Roses came out. So I guess it was the little push that she needed to be good. I don't know. Majin Bay is also a wizard main. Majin Bay plays a lot of wizards, so I mean, if anybody was gonna do it, he would.
Ooh.
Foil up the ante. That's hilarious. You're even your foil M's are the bad ones. That looks good though. Look at the foil. What's on the blue? Does it always come up on the strip? Pull up another foil card. Is there foil on the strip?
No. Wait, there's no, it doesn't. This is a misprint. Yeah, it's a misprint.
That's very cool. Well, it might not be entirely a misprint. They do that with some cards.
Do they? I don't think I've ever seen.
Like Rainbow Foil Surgical Extraction, I believe, has a rainbow foil bar.
Oh, really?
But yeah,
the pitches too.
So either that. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, whether it's on purpose or not, that's very cool. I love the foiling on that. Hey, if Olympia ever gets good, that's a great card.
I mean, if it is actually a misprint, it would.
You'd have to get another foil up the ante to find out.
Yeah, it looks so cool though. Like that. Why don't they foil the bars? The foiled bar looks awesome, actually. Oh man.
Well, that's why I was saying I think they only do it on some cards because I've seen that before, and I'm not entirely sure that it is a misprint. If it is a misprint, it's something that happens occasionally.
Yeah, if it's honestly, if it's not even worth that much, it's just going in the binder, I think.
Yeah, I would keep it too.
That's cool. Yeah. Man, I guess I won't get my money back.
Ooh. Let's see.
The chin is always back all.
Well, we've got 4 M's and a foil M, so let's see.
M's.
Oh, you hit 2 full arms? Nice.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah,
the other
both
one?
the
Oh, the Dissolved Reality. That was actually a decent one.
Did you see that?
Was that... Is that fucking Marvel Victor?
Yeah.
Hell yeah! God, I'm on a hot streak. I'm just like, I want that shit. And I do want that shit. We will talk.
Yeah. Nice.
Awesome. Fucking fantastic. That looks great too. Well, I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
he's
it
the
does.
golden boy, so that whole gold foiling for his hero border is awesome. You normally have to win something for gold foiling. Victor says, I paid for mine.
I was thinking about that. That looks really good. Oh, that looks so good. Okay. Let me... I don't know about your luck on the grains of blood spill though, because I gotta tell you, I've opened in total before tonight 6 boxes of heavy hitters ever. And I've
Okay.
pulled 2 grains of blood spill already. So I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna pull that one off, but we'll see. I was actually
What
worried
else?
about that because I was thinking, I was like, well, into my second case, I've already pulled 2 legendaries. Odds are, oh yeah, that's it's gonna be like
Well, no.
remember with Rosetta when I opened 3 marvels in my first case and then didn't get marvels for the next 2.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
Yeah.
Marvel heroes are so good.
Yeah, I'm really glad that I really actually like that a lot of the money is going to like the nice hero cards. See anything else? Yeah.
I had to see what up the anti-foil looks like.
Yeah, because the thing is, you're gonna have to find someone with a picture of it, I think, to see whether or not they normally foil that.
I don't think people would normally
Ooh.
put pictures on it.
You know, they say, I mean, I don't know. As far as tokens go, they sometimes short print tokens. Though this is another hidden short print, which we're gonna get into short prints later. But
The
Centauri's
sellsword
Sellsword,
token?
yeah, is definitely short printed to some degree. And I don't know, are they still like $1 a piece? Do you know? I don't know.
I'll have
I
to
mean,
take a look. So
yeah.
that rainbow foil up the ante looks like it's at least $6. So something.
Yeah. I mean, if it is a misprint, I don't know. If it's not,
The
whatever.
regular
Well,
Centauri sellsword is the low price. Somebody's got 5 of them at 25 cents.
oh,
But
oh.
it's like $1.25 shipping, so it's one of those things where it's like it's only less than $1 if you're buying other stuff.
Yeah. Which I normally do. I almost never just buy one of something. Like if I'm like all in on a card, I'm buying like 20 of them.
But yeah, not only did Majin Bey win the battle hall, that battle hardened on Verdance, there was also another Verdance in Barcelona that got second. And then was there another, or was there just 2? I think it was just 2. But yeah, so I mean that for a single card, Runner's nice. That is almost $7. But we're seeing a ton of Syndra, a little bit of Arachne, either flavor.
Well,
Zen is still around. New is good still.
Is Arachne still in the number 5 slot for like nationals? Because I think
There was an Arachne slip through the cracks that Jason Long piloted a 3rd in Christchurch calling, which that's pretty tremendous.
yeah. Well, because I was thinking back to like was it Dev Talk 11? Was it 11 or 12? The most recent one.
Let me see if I actually wrote that down in my notes, because I do have a ton of notes. I don't know. I don't know which dev talk it was.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah. The
lame.
number doesn't matter. The
Whatever
most
number it is.
Yeah. That one, they were talking about the top 5 at Nationals. And it was like, obviously, Viscerai at top. Or no, New, and then Viscerai, and then. Shoot, who was number 3? Because then it went Syndra, Marionette. I can't remember who the.
Zen?
Was it Zen? I think it was Zen. Yeah.
It's probably Zen, because I mean Zen is still really good. I mean, but that's one thing that I said to you earlier today is like the meta is pretty good. Like, and I think that they said something about it in the dev talk as well, that they think that it's like the best meta that they've had.
Yeah,
Maybe
there's
ever.
because like 20 completely viable heroes is pretty ridiculous.
That's a lot of decks for a trading card game, man. I was searching and looking at legacy decks for MTG, and like there's only like 4 or 5, maybe 6 tier 1 decks, and then maybe 6 tier 2 decks. But I feel like if you were gonna buy straight into a set, that you would probably want to stay within tier 1 and tier 2, right? I don't know.
Oh,
20 seems like a lot of decks.
Update, sir.
Oh, what was it? What'd you hit?
Victor. You didn't put Victor on the spreadsheet.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. I'm an idiot.
That's my. It's the. I was like looking. I was like, ooh, I didn't do great on this box. No, I doubled this box pretty much. It's yeah. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
It started out slow, but then you just went ahead and pulled the Marvel. So I mean, that was pretty awesome.
The Marvel box one usually just means the rest is gonna be kind of lame, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Hey, oh, look at that. Big pulls. You'll see this soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna buy that. I gotta keep Dan going. I mean, somebody else would buy it in like 3 months, I'm sure, but I actually want one. And this is probably the cheapest I'd get one. Hell yeah, there's another Marvel.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay.
See, this is what you need. You need me on here commentating, you know, being part of the opening, and then my luck sprinkles into it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm down with this. So I pulled the number 7 and the number 8 most valuable cards. Good old Betsy.
Nice.
You want a Betsy? No.
I mean, not really, but didn't you say that you were going to keep all the young Marvels and try to frame them up?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna do something with it.
Yeah, because I mean, that's $20 right there, $19.
Actually, I think she might have went up. That's what I was looking. The young Kasai went up. I wonder if someone else noticed what I noticed with them all being so dirt cheap. Like
it's possible.
It's ridiculous that all those young heroes are under $20.
And the thing of it is that Betsy's ability isn't even bad. Like, if she just had more ways to like wager, or like her ability gets like exponentially better the more times you can wager. So like, all they need to do is print specific support cards for her, and she could be really good out of nowhere.
Which, I mean, I think, going back to where we were talking earlier, like the meta with the Hunted is, I don't know. I kind of think I called it. I don't know. We'll see how long it lasts. So we'll see how well Syndra and Arachne do. But I was pretty positive that the expansion slots were going to do a whole lot of work in the Hunted, and I think we're definitely seeing that. Like, I think,
yeah, absolutely.
But I think that's really good. I know, we talk all the way back to like Dev Talk 9, but they're like, oh, we want to see our heroes, all the new heroes, and like, top 5s or whatever, top 8s, and like, well, I don't necessarily think that's good. I think it's much better when it's a set like the Hunted or Rosetta, where it really brings like, was it Rising Tide raises all ships? So like,
well, yeah, because I mean, Rosetta made Viscerai like the top deck.
Yeah, and then the Hunted cemented it. I think, like, it's
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think anything really got added to Viserai from the Hunted, at least not that I can think of off the top of my head. But he's still the best deck in the format, or at least one of. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like if the Viserai draws bad, I think they're a really variant deck. Like, obviously, you can pilot it better, you know. Brody, right after he won on Syndra, he took a Viserai to third, and what was it? It might have been Christchurch. Yeah. And that was on Viserai. And I mean, there's just, it's crazy to look at the New Zealand top 8 and be like Zen, Enigma, Kano, Viserai, slip through the cracks, new Syndra. So that is the Hunted, Mistvale, Arcane Rising. So that's only 3 different sets, but one of them is two of the heroes that topped were from Arcane Rising, which is a 5-year-old set now.
Yeah. Let's talk a big game on that. How high is that on the spreadsheet? I'm actually not really sure.
Talk a big game's another shit one.
Okay. That's a good one. Ooh, we got a
It's a
bobble.
brute guardian split card. It's not gonna be good.
Oh no, Centauri, damn it.
Oh, I thought you said that was short printed.
Well, yeah, but I'm upset about the ding on it.
Oh.
Yeah. I've been noticing a lot more, especially with the bulk I've been getting in, bad cuts. Like, this is fully ridged, you know, like from like the punch out.
Oh yeah, I've had that. I've definitely had my share of boxes that open like that.
And I'm always curious about how I should grade those or condition them.
Meh.
Those sell well. Colossal Bearings.
Yeah, it's a cool card. I think the best one that you can get out of those is Smack of Reality, which I think that I'm pretty sure that's in the set. Yes.
Secrets.
Oh wait, that's in starter deck bet C. Oh, it's in heavy hitters too. Good. Seduce Secrets? That's the one where you get to look at their hand.
Yeah.
It's an odd card.
This is some card draw. From Arsenal, but like, why not? Beast Mode I really like, actually. He honestly just looks very Hulk. It's like hulking out. I don't know. I like it.
They need more Rhinar support. I'm tired of them acting like people care about blocking, and just let me intimidate somebody 4 times.
Aether Arc.
That's $11 right there. Nice. Or is it foil? No, it's foil, isn't it?
No, it's not foil.
Yeah,
it's normal.
Another decent one. Aether Arc is great. That was like one of the main cards, like a blue block 3 that can make a ponder token, so they kind of have to respect it, or they let you set up your arsenal. It's a really nice card. So last night was Valentine's Day, and that's, you know, why we didn't do Riled Up yesterday. But I was inspired by the Rune Babe on Blue Sky. Her husband had bought her a bouquet of booster packs. So I was like, all right, that's a good idea. Let's roll up to the LGS, and I got 2 boxes, one for her to open, one for me to open, and you know how it goes. I just pulled Liv pulled the gold foil flexors, I pulled the EA Provoke, and the Shelter from the Storm. So out of the I've opened exactly 2 cases worth of the Hunted, you know, counting the pre-release openings and blah blah blah. And I've hit 2 non-foil and 1 rainbow foil Shelter from the Storm. And I've just been letting Liv use those in her deck because we've been playing Syndra against Fang. and I just let her have the 3 shelter from the storm because Bloodstained Vest and Flick Knives are just disgusting. Like, she's using Valiant Dynamo, and there's a lot of value there, but Flick Knives and Bloodstained Vest is just Blood Splattered Vest is just so good. It's crazy.
Yeah. No fear.
No Fear's a nice card, but I don't think it's. No, it's not on here.
Oh, I didn't even put it at like a high filter. I think
No, this is like a $5 filter.
Yeah, I just because like the box price and most of the card prices are so low, I figured it would be a little more reasonable to try and hit the goals. But no, that's cool. Did you actually make the bouquet out of the booster packs, or?
I'm sorry. What did you say?
Oh, did you actually make a nice bouquet out of the booster packs, or?
No, we just opened them up.
Oh.
And I actually got some really badly timed hiccups, so I'm gonna need you to fill some time.
Oh, you're gonna need me to fill some time. Ah, jeez. Yeah, I was telling. So, one of the things I've been watching, right, is everyone keeps talking about, the Hunted is doing, ooh, Cast Bones. I don't know if it's good, but boy, is that a gorgeous foil. I don't know if it's going to come through that well, but, I mean, I don't know. The foiling looks real cool. She looks like someone who could come visit me, and I wouldn't even be upset if she ate crackers in bed. I like
She
that.
looks a lot like oh man, I hate that I just thought of this and now I can't remember what it is. Do you happen to remember the Cascade card that it was in like the Gruul decks whenever it was a thing?
No. You gotta
No.
remember when I finished playing Magic was like 2005.
If KO comes back into the meta really strong, Cast Bones is an amazing card. Because he just screws around and reveals 6/6s and gets, 6 might tokens and a quicken token or whatever it is. Cast Bones is a really great card for KO.
Yeah. Oh, but what was I saying? I was talking about. Oh yeah, everyone. Here's something that I'm still trying to come to terms with and try to get some data to actually back up. Is everyone keeps talking about how well the Hunted is doing, like sales wise, and singles wise, it's doing fine. Like it's on par with Rosetta, I think. But sealed wise, online, miserable. Miserable. And I'm just not like I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like looking at like Rosetta's numbers. It's selling like half the amount that Rosetta did. I'm looking at Mist. It's not even selling close to Mist. And I'm like, what? I just don't understand. Like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I'm in the middle of a psyop. Like, I'm not saying it's bad, because I think what we looked at or talked about last week was even if the boxes are selling about half as much as Rosetta, right? The singles might be higher because it was a set that had a lot of pre-demand, and this was also the first. Well, actually, I'm going to comment on that. Had a lot of pre-sales, but like not a lot like at the date of not pre-release of like world premiere. So I was like, it's got to be singles. It's got to be singles, right? Everyone's got to be opening them up. But single sales, not that great. I mean, I shouldn't say not that great.
I tell you what you need to do eventually. There's a regular Dissolve Reality, which I don't think is actually on the $5 mark. But man, you have got to figure out how to get like table space at if you I don't know how much it costs to rent a table to be a vendor at a calling, but holy shit. Do you know that they were selling Shelter from the Storm for $100 that opening weekend to the people that needed them for the calling?
Really?
The singles on site at events are ridiculously overpriced because they know you'll pay because it's right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But, well, before that, I have to get any direct from supplier boxes. So that's one of my goals for the year is finally go through And there's 2 online distributors.
I feel like I just saw something shiny, or I'm imagining it.
Oh, it's the Decimate, I think.
Oh.
But yeah, Southern something is the one.
Southern Hobby.
Yeah, Southern Hobby is the one I've got to go through. But it's also one of those things. You know how like insurance automatically denies you on your very first attempt, and then you have to like apply again, and then they accept it. Southern Hobby is notorious for that too. They never accept anyone the first time they apply. So
you gotta make sure you want it real bad.
Yeah, which is just annoying, and kind of been putting me off from doing it. But I just have to. I need cheaper boxes. So
well, I don't even know, unless they change their policy. I don't even think LSS will let you buy boxes from distro without a brick and mortar.
Well, the because it's like a distributor of it from a distributor. I'm like a step removed, so online can usually buy from them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird, I think, workaround they've got. But I don't know. That's on the plan for the year. We'll see. I did just really want to get back into.
We didn't really hit much of what they talked about in the dev talk, and I think one of the biggest things, at least for collectors out there, Sonata Galaxia is pretty cool. I think that is somewhat of a hit now. Yes.
It goes up and down, I feel like.
Well, Vinset finally placed in something, so yeah. Your Vinset cards are going up. But they don't tell you what cards they short print anymore.
I don't know if it's that they don't. So because I just watched it like right before this. I am not certain that they aren't going to. Well, they used to tell us, I think, like when they added it to Collection Center. I suspect that now they're going to release a short print when they release the print numbers.
I could see that. But that's one of those things where it's like Trounce is cool.
This was actually a big box.
It's gotta be rainbow foiled. It's probably like a $4 card or something.
Yeah, still 7 Majestics so far.
7 Majestics, wow. Well, yeah. 8 if you count the foil.
Yeah, I never count the foils. It's under a different.
Yeah, it is a different. Odds. But I was just saying that was pretty nice. But yeah, I guess it's advantageous to anyone who's actually been paying attention for the long term, because the way that he talked about the short printing of Hunter's Clave was very much just like, it's short printed the same way that I'm paraphrasing. He did not. I don't believe he used the word shorted. Like I think he tried to stay away from that word. I don't particularly remember him saying we shorted this, blah blah blah.
Well, he just says, we print less based on I mean, for the collectors. It's for your own good that Hunter's Clave is.
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't want to be drowning in Hunter's Claves, right? I just have too many Hunter's Claves. How are you going to hold all these Hunter's Claves?
Right? I don't know. I bet I know a couple people who'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, I got 1 Hunter's Clave, and I still need to buy 2 more, because I'm almost positive that the marked effect, because they printed Mark of the Black Widow in all 3 colors. Like, why in the... Mark of the Black Widow is very good. Like, I mean, Leave No Witnesses was already very good. It's like, oh, you like Command and Conquer? How about a free one that's for 4? It's still a breakpoint, but it doesn't cost anything. And then they're like, well, what about Mark of the Black Widow? It's not a breakpoint, but it is a stealth card, and assassins don't have 8 million ways to react and make this more than 3, so sure, why not? Let's give assassins 9 more arsenal destruction effects. Which I just find it funny that the reasoning was, oh, well, it's because you don't need as many. And it's like, Hunter's Clave is way too good for you to use that defense. I'm sorry. You know, just I wish that he was just a tiny bit more real about it, because even though the prices are coming down, like, you're still gonna pay $40 for a non-foil Hunter's Clave, and that's way more than you would pay for like a non-foil Nerve Scalpel, right? Like, I remember whenever Outsiders came out and everybody was trying to cold foil out their assassin decks, a cold foil Nerve Scalpel was like $90. Obviously, the cold foils come down to maybe like 40, 45, something like that now, which is fine, because for a Nerve Scalpel, you generally only really want one. You know, maybe if you really love the game plan of trying to Nerve Scalpel somebody's Sink Below and you're throwing them a bunch, that could be something. But in general, that hot streak's pretty cool.
Yeah, I wish it would come up better. This is actually a really good cold foil that. Oh, maybe a little.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. It's got
Yeah.
like a real like gradient of colors. That's nice.
Yeah, I like that one. So I do think it's like $1.
Yeah, no, that's not worth anything. But yeah, the Hunter's Clave, more than anything. I mean, even New doesn't really care to throw her Beckoning Mistblade. Like, she'll attack with Beckoning Mistblade, but the on-hit effect isn't so brutal that she's gonna want to Flicker Knife and try and get the effect anyway. But Hunter's Clave just is. And now you have ways to get daggers back with Retrieve, and ways to get daggers out of your inventory with Concealed Blade. Really on the bad Majestics kick, huh?
It's the only ones I know how to pull.
Hey, as long as the marbles keep showing up with the bad Majestics, I would just love to see you pull a couple Blade Flurries, just because they're good. Like, they're the best cards of the set. Like, come on now.
I don't think I'm getting. Well, no, I think I'm out of cold foils in this box. Or technically, you're not guaranteed one cold foil. You're guaranteed one premium foil, which is, also
Guaranteed is such a strong word, because, you could also just pull like 3 of something. I don't know if you've ever opened a box that good, though.
I mean, I pulled 2 Fables in a box. So.
Well, that was Bright Lights, and that's just sad.
No, don't ruin it. Don't ruin it for me. I pulled 2 Fables in one box, and I mean, granted, combined, they're still worth less than $90, but in my
I mean,
Liv
pulled 2 Fables out of a case of Outsiders, so those Plague Hives, they're almost as bad.
But yeah, so I don't know. I guess now what my new, I don't even know when. In some reality where I have spare time anymore, I really want to go through and see if there's any rhyme or reason they're short printing, because I really don't think there is. Some sets it's 70%, some sets it's 60%, some sets it's 50%, and it's like I want to see. I'm gonna have to put out the type, the pitch, color, maybe any variables I can figure out to see if there's some rhyme or reason to it, or if they just change it up.
Well, it seems like they have specific things, like specific ideas, like for a dagger that is a one-handed dagger that they assume you only want one of because it's a one-handed assassin dagger, and in their mind, assassins use only different daggers. I don't know why that is their default mindset, but they are never going to assume that an assassin wants 3 of the same dagger. So that gets short printed 75% less often. So like every 4 times you would pull any Majestic out of the expansion slot, it only happens 25% as often, right? Like, if it's 75% less.
I don't think I've ever seen it as low as 75%, but I think 60 is the highest, right? Or 70? 60?
No, I mean, it's literally 75, man.
Oh, is it 75?
Yeah, it's 75% less. So it is printed 25%. Like you only get it 1/4 as often.
Which set had that low?
Outsiders.
Was it just Outsiders is that low?
Because it's specifically for the one-handed majestic daggers.
But they've definitely had one-handed majestic daggers in other sets, right?
No, they haven't.
Really?
This one, the Hunter's Clave, which they also short printed and said that it was exactly the same. The words that came out of James White's mouth was that he short printed the same as Orbitoclast, and if that's true, it only shows up 1/4 as often as anything else because it's 75% less, which is a crazy way to say it.
I can't remember. Did Outsiders have... So I think only one set had 3 different degrees of short printed for Majestics. But
that
usually,
was Dynasty.
Dynasty, yeah, miserable. Especially to Kappa Evian. But I don't think any other set's been like that. Like, so I don't know. Is all of Outsider short printed 75? I mean, I just don't have my spreadsheet.
The one-handed M Majestics.
So there are multiple degrees of short printed for Majestics in Outsiders, is what you're saying.
Well, is there a different type of Majestic that was short printed besides the daggers?
I'm sure there is.
Let me get on to the collector
so
talk
a big game. Man, really just dumpster Majestics. I don't think... Yeah, I think like a lot of those sets have more than that. Because like anything that would be a hero, I just don't know enough about Outsiders. I just don't open it. I mean, I guess now I would for money reasons, but I wouldn't enjoy it. I would hate every second of it.
All right, let's see. Why is it showing French first? Oh my god. Why isn't this English? Said every American ever.
Foil Prime to Fight looks really nice.
Ooh, that might be something. No. I got excited because I use Prime to Fight in my Victor deck, and it's a nice card. Does that have a foil strip? That looks like, is it the strip that's foil? Or no?
No. No.
I think that if we happen to pull a foil of coercive tendency, that foil I think has the foil strip. Man, this sucks. I hate websites that won't let me like roll to the side. I wish LSS's website was better. I wish fab2cg.com was better.
It's a bad site. I'm sorry. It like whoever designed it doesn't know web design or UX or anything. It feels
I don't want to sit here and shit talk people, but I wish it was better. That's all I'm gonna say. Yes, you were right. You were right.
God.
There is. You got a whole play set of Dissolve Reality, bro. You got to destroy that arsenal, dog.
The expansion slot is doing me dirty in this. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, so the traps, Buzzsaw, Collapsing, and Spike Pit, Riptide's special traps, those are 50%, which is crazy to me. The traps that you literally can't play more than one of are printed more often than the majestic one-handed weapons that you would think at least some number of people might want 2 of. In my mind, like the traps should have been 75% less because they're actually legendary and you literally can't play more than one. And then the one-handed daggers should have been 50% less. Like, unless the only way that this makes sense to me is if the grammar is incorrect. You know what I mean? Like if it literally says features 75% less often as regular Majestics. Like, shouldn't it say, like, wouldn't that mean that it only shows up a quarter of the time instead of 3/4 of the time?
Yeah.
Even though I believe it would make more sense if it was 3/4 of the time. So it's one of those things where it's like, if I think they mean the opposite of what they're saying, it makes sense to me. I don't understand why it's a quarter of the time.
Well, that's what I don't understand the rhyme or reason to a lot of the numbers. So, ooh, it's a $1 card.
You keep getting excited and looking for.
I know. I'm like, please, please.
Pay up. That can be good. Maybe. You know, if Dromai goes crazy with Dragon Scalers in Living Legend, like skirmish season's actually coming up. Like if Dromai's a real menace in skirmish season for Living Legend, I could see using pay up because a lot of times she'll have her gold. Well, no, she'll lose the gold before that even happens. So never mind, that was a stupid idea. Raising Army is not any good either.
270 though.
Yeah.
Okay. I was really worried that I wasn't gonna hit my 6, but now I'm upset I hit my 6.
Last one's got the Fable in it. Let's
Right.
go. Deathmatch Arita.
Yeah, so I don't know. I read the stuff about it. I'm gonna have to do some investigating and try and figure out what we can figure out. And because the other thing is we do have a lot of pull information from Rosetta and from Misty. So we might be able to figure out like what the actual pull rates
That
are.
box was god awful.
Yeah, that was a bad box.
That Victor is not pulling weight like he thought. He needs a little help.
Yeah. Yeah, this is bad.
I mean, I'm happy
bad.
enough that I you know I get a chance at a Victor, so I'm happy with that. But I'm sad that you haven't pulled more. Gotta get more crap.
Yeah, especially since that little red number there on the above your head needs to hit about 315 for me to break even. So, or 305.
All you gotta do, I mean, you said that you've already opened some of this. Like, let's get the Fable and let's get a Blade Flurry, and that'll set you up right there. Fable and Blade Flurry.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm just trying to minimize losses, I think. This is bad. I wouldn't mind, we haven't got a legendary yet, so there's definitely a legendary in this box.
Don't use the word definitely. You're not allowed to say definitely. You just made the legendary disappear.
Oh.
That foiling on that looks interesting. I feel like I've never seen that card before.
Do you ever
Vigorous wind up?
Yeah, do you ever just go through cards and then you're like, I've never seen this card in my life? Because
Vigorous wind up is one of those cards where it's like at a certain point somebody was smoking crack when they thought that everything had to be like parallel and like everything had to be the same. Because it's like, I'll discard a whole card for an agility to give something go again. Hilarious. But like, who in their right mind is like, yes, I will discard a card to get a vigor token that is like, it's literally worse than just pitching a red. I'll throw this whole card in the trash to get one resource. Like, the reason I didn't recognize that card is because you're out of your mind, even for printing that card. Like, I know that they did this whole thing where it's like the blah, blah, blah. This one makes a vigor, this one makes an agility, this one makes a might. But, like, for real, discarding a card to make a vigor is so much trash, it's not even funny. The Golden Sun goes with the Marvel that you pulled, so...
Yeah. No, I was going through a bunch. I got the box of Balkan, another box of Balkan today. Like I wasn't already drowning in like 20 something thousand other bulk cards. Actually, I think I'm up to 30,000 bulk in the living room right now. So keep him busy. The store's been stocked better than ever before. I'm well over 50,000 cards now in there. On that one shop, I got another like 16,000 on the other, but um, yeah, I forgot what it was called. It was like I was going through Arcane Rising, and it was like prayer of something, and the art's
Irina.
yeah, yeah, gorgeous art. I was like, how have I never fuck this game right in the I didn't even mean to swear, but that's how I feel about the expansion slots today.
That's amazing.
I bet you a third of these Majestics came out of the expansion slot. It doesn't even make sense.
You pulled 4 Dissolve Realities. What the actual fuck?
I'm really good at clumping. That's actually another Dan classic for cases. Is I'll pull like 3 or 4 of the most garbage Majestics possible instead of anything possibly worth more than $2.
What I don't understand is how to, it's just human nature to find patterns. I think that's why that's got a foil strip.
No.
It looked like it did.
No. I don't think so. At least it doesn't. No. Yeah, because the pitch isn't either.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a little shiny.
Kind of.
Like the metal around the strip is, but not like the strip itself.
Okay. But yeah, the fact that you do definitely clumping up on Reel In and Dissolve Reality is fucking hilarious. Like those 2 cards out of everything for real.
Right? You see those boxes like, oh, I pulled 24 legendaries in this box. Look at this clumping. And then I'm like, oh yeah, look at 12 Dissolve Realities. No one's jabby or jealous. It's If anything, I'm gonna put all these on the market, double the quantity, and it's gonna crash again. Crash in half. Oh, come on. I need some juice. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, short printing's real weird. I'm not looking forward to going back and changing all my EVs for, like, Misty, Rosetta, and,
Another standing order, for fuck's sake. What do you think of James White's take about, like, just not wanting to help your opponent win? Which I find funny that I know we're immediately swapping to a different topic, but the fact that they banned Brody is like, I have a feeling that like they put it on there like repeated slow play infractions, so they banned him, and they even changed the ban rules so you can't even go to like Armory or nothing. Like they said that, like you can't go to anything. And I just noticed, were you muted just there, or were you just moving your lips?
Oh, no, okay, I was going to say something and then I heard you, so I shut my mouth. I didn't want to talk over you.
Oh. But he got banned for slow play infractions, which is great because they said that they don't want warnings to be like a renewable resource that you could just be like, oh well, I'll tank because I know I can tank 2 more times and get these warnings. Like they don't want people to treat it like that, and they feel like some people have been treating it like that. And to be fair, you look at the numbers, they have been treating it like that because there's not a single time that Brody wouldn't get slow play warnings. It's just like part of how he plays. Yeah. So he's really got to stop it, which is I'm happy with, because to be honest with you, more than anything, I hate slow play. I hate it. Like I know, like I love playing fatigue decks, man, but I don't normally go to time. Like I know what I'm gonna do. I commit the cards. I put the shit down. I know that I'm gonna be blocking you out, and it's up to you to figure out how to do the damage. And it annoys the shit out of me when the aggro player tanks trying to figure out how to put 1 damage through on me with 4 cards, and then you don't even like try an arsenal. Like, it's the more often you tank, the more I think that you're a bad player, which is why it annoys me so much that Brody is so good and he tanks so often. I know, listen, if you're that good, you can play fucking faster. That is my opinion on that.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to go over it. Just real fast, real fast. This might be my new favorite foil because all right, you see how like
Really?
the axe is blocking the sun?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you let's see, move it, then you get like the full glint effect, and it looks like it's going over the axe. Like it looks like you're actually like the sun effect with that axe. Like
Yeah,
no
that's actually
sun.
nice.
Yeah,
But to me, at first, I thought that it was basically like it's sort of like the negative space makes the foiling that doesn't usually work for you. Because this is like, to me, if you ignore, like, put your hand over the sun part of the battle axe, it looks like the type of foiling that you normally hate. That
oh
is
yeah,
just like across the whole thing.
yeah. I would not have liked this, but I really like the effect that they did with the sun there. I don't know if they did it on purpose,
I
but
don't
like
even think it's an effect, dude. I think it's just negative space doing its thing.
I mean, yeah. Well, no, I think. Well, yeah. I think it also has to do with like the way that foiling, like the color changes, because they're like here, like shoulders full solid, axe solid, but then as soon as the sun is bright, like look at how much it radiates off of like the shoulder pauldron and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. It's a really cool effect. Yeah, it's just really good foiling. I don't know, but
it is. It is a good foil.
I have a lot to say about Brody because I think I think the biggest issue um, that a lot of people have with because he made the statement right um, before Christchurch, and in it really did sound like he was like I talked to a bunch of other professional players, everyone's kind of like okay with it, and I think that throwing it out there that like all these top players like are all kind of like conspiring and talking about ways to like manipulate that system. I think that irked James White because a lot of that dev talk had to do with like I said, people using that as a currency, and you know I don't know. I don't think he said the silent part out loud that we all kind of thought, and then yeah.
Well, yeah, no, he did for sure, and it wasn't a secret. Like people do that. That's the shit that we were talking about with electromagnetic.
Ooh.
Hell yes, that's a good one. That's like $40.
Nice. You still need
That is the
Luminaris?
good. Yeah, I actually do need a Luminaris Angel's Glow. I don't have that.
I remember you talking about it. I don't know.
Because it's like that and a couple of angels is the difference between me being able to play the Prism and CC or not.
Oh,
I don't know if I care enough to want the cold foil off you, but that is a very nice pull. Very nice pull.
Yeah,
so I'm not like a huge Prism fan, to be honest with you. I think if I was gonna roll another illusionist, I might build Enigma. But that's only because I already have a Meridian Pathway and 2 manifestations of Miragai.
Oh, yeah, but yeah, I don't know. She's not doing as hot as Prism does with this set, so I don't know.
We've had some really experienced Prism players throw down with Prism, and I think it's really just skill expression. If you've got a good player that likes a hero that can conceivably do well, then that player can certainly pilot them to a good finish. Like, I think once you start talking about like those top decks, like, yeah, Enigma is not technically doing as well as Prism, but like maybe that's just because there's not as many pros choosing to play Enigma, which is all meta dependent and whatnot. I think Enigma's still a decent choice.
Yeah. Oh, but back to Christchurch and Brody. Do we know? Okay, so Christchurch is the event that Brody got suspended for. They're
I well, I mean, I don't have any idea. I assume that he probably got slow play again on there. I just don't know for sure. And he got
yeah.
banned after that event. So,
Well, and the date for it was the Christchurch event. The date on
oh,
like, which is why I am assuming is that one, because there was a lot of talk that he got 4 slow play warnings at that event.
or ugh.
Right. So did he actually? I thought with 4 infractions, did he actually lose or did he get disqualified? I don't know if
Who
anyone's
knows?
talked. I don't know. I haven't seen anything about that. But that was the first thing that went. Like when they were talking about it in the dev talk, my first thought was like, oh wait, maybe Brody didn't lose. Maybe he just got. Because I was really surprised to see him lose at
That
that
foil
spot.
concuss
But
looks pretty cool.
yeah, I like the concusses too.
I like the way it hits all the armor. It reminds me of like a Dark Souls, the Onion guy.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, no, it was just I haven't seen anyone talk about it. Like, no, none of the talking heads, not your normal Twitter folks, but it definitely immediately popped head. Like if well, so the way that they phrased the 4 warnings that Brody got was 2 official warnings and 2 gentle judge reminders. Which I mean,
Screams
then
favoritism, don't it?
yeah, it screams not only favoritism but also like maybe
I think the
yeah,
problem is that, like, I mean, obviously I don't know, but from what I've heard about how you can literally like use the timer and be like, okay, well, Brody got a warning in this event for 6 minutes, and then somebody else went in the tank for 4 minutes, and that's when they got the warning. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, not everybody is, got like a perfect internal clock, but you're clearly letting somebody go longer, and it's one of those things like, are they letting him go longer because they think that he's such a good player that he deserves to think like, oh, he's calculating, he's not stalling, he's like, is that inherent bias there? And I think that judges just have to be bigger dicks. They have to be more serious, like, you know, want Brody to play faster because that's how the game should be played, and don't give him all this leeway.
yeah, this is $6, 635. Put it on the spreadsheet.
Oh,
Woo! Woo!
sorry, I didn't realize
Uh-oh.
that the bet big rainbow foil was big dollars like that.
There
You need to hit
are,
the fable. The fable would round this out perfectly.
yeah, it's like the only chance I have at breaking even remotely close. Uh, is the big sad. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot. I'm trying to think what
But
else.
the one thing that I wanted to say about that is that in my mind, James White told his story that he wanted people to like hear, and I'm like, based on that story, you just told me that you kind of support what he did. But then right after that, he's like, but if you get hit with your command and conquer, just discard your arsenal. And it's one of those things where it's like, I think that they specifically choose the lesser of two evils with the you don't have to remember your opponent's triggers, specifically because of the complex stuff that can happen that you might not be familiar with. Like, yes, it would suck to be like, oh, you didn't count that up right, so you took 1 less damage, and now we go to this next turn, and you missed your trigger. That's not my fault. But like, I think what James White was trying to get across there was like, if it's something complicated and you guys just go right past it, then fine, that's no big deal. But then like, if it is just like it's just a command and conquer that you've been staring at for 8 minutes, like, nobody thinks you forgot that. Like,
Right.
don't. He's basically what I got out of that was like, yes, we don't want people to have to remember your opponent's triggers, but also don't be a tool.
Yeah, yeah, no, which is definitely true, right? Because I think it would be too easy to knee jerk, completely change the rules based on all this, like, the commotion, the social media nonsense that comes with these big dramatic events. Is this
Because
for
listen, if
Let me see. Sorry.
commanding performance, I think the foil does.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to find it. Yeah,
Oh,
it's just the foil's at $9, so it must be at like $4.
Oh, sad days. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like I would have a totally different opinion on that situation. Like if Brody went no blocks and then pummel and then like took the damage and started his turn and the amount of time that passed was like 15 seconds, it's a lot easier to think, oh, he just didn't catch it, wasn't thinking about it, than like sitting in the tank total of 8 minutes and still not doing the triggers because your opponent didn't say trigger. Like, it's like, it seemed like he didn't want it to be, but I feel like that was the most egregious thing that they would ever. Oh, foil draw swords. That's got to be something, or did it go to shit? It must have went to shit.
I don't know. Like I said, I think that was one of my first ones too. I really like it. Yeah. The third one.
Never mind. I was thinking of the Majestic, not draw swords.
Oh.
I can't remember what it's called though.
3 packs left. Yeah. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, but no, I don't know. I think they kind of made the right decision. I do think there definitely has to be some changes on the judging side. I mean, it's because yeah, like you said, we were talking earlier, right? There's 20 decks, right? Not even 20 decks. There's 20 heroes. A lot of those heroes have 2 or 3 different meta decks they could be playing, right? So like that adds up. That's a whole lot of cards you'd have to like know all the triggers and nuances of. And so for, the random Joe who ends up at a big event and like, it's fair. We don't want to, burden them with that. So it makes sense in that direction. But on the other side of it, I think intention has to matter. And I do believe judges do care about that. Like, or they're supposed to. I don't know. It's like he very intentionally knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, ooh,
Oil Ether Arc.
That's a
17.
double I'll take. Nice. That's a good foiling.
Clump up on the Marvel Victor somehow. That'll put you right there.
Yeah. Well, we hit the perfect. Well, I still think it's I don't know. I know they say it's a 1 in 18. I'm still in the 1 in 16 camp for Rainbow Foil Majestics.
Eh.
But, all right, last packs. Gross. All right, and that's how you lose $100. That's rough.
Man, that Marvel Victor at the beginning really had me going. I thought this was gonna be some good shit. And to be fair, you did pull some nice stuff. Like if you just talk about like, oh, you hit all this stuff, but like the foil M's are not at where they should be, and the hot streak is a horrible cold foil.
Yeah. I mean,
The
it's
Luminaris
a great
Angel's
cold
Glow
foil.
is good
It's
though.
just not a valuable one, yeah. Yeah, honestly, for the cold foil slots, like, really couldn't ask for much better. Like, normally you'd get like 3 commons, but my I think, cold foil rare being my least rare of the 4 cold foils is great.
We'll say at least you got like an instant sale on the one, so that's good. You get some money back pretty quickly.
Gross.
Man.
Oh well.
Honestly, the more I open cards and the more I'm around other people that open cards, I do think luck has got to be at least somewhat real. I don't know if it's karma. I don't know what it is.
Oh. I hope it's not karma based. I feel like I'm a good person. I just haven't pulled like one. I don't know. Well, I guess while we're just talking,
I was gonna say if it is karma based, I don't know what you're doing. There's bodies in your basement or something.
Right? And I'm over here. I'm like volunteering at Steve Kitchens and stuff, and they're like, ooh. That's
It's kind of crazy that the Evo Magneto, of all things, is still like a $10 cold foil, even though I don't know why anybody would want it.
How many did I put?
You didn't pull any Ripple Aways either. Those are a nice staple that I would have actually bought off of you. Because I only have one Ripple Away. It's the one that's the blue block 3 that you can discard to make, like whenever your opponent tries to make tokens, they make one less of those. So like, it's pretty nice because like, you know, they play Codex of Frailty, so you discard Ripple Away, and then they don't make their Ponder, and they don't make the Frailty either. I think the best use of that I've ever had is somebody came in with like an infecting shot or something. Or no, not infecting shot. It was whatever the stealth card is that gives a blood rot, and then they hit it with a spike with blood rot, and that gives it 2 instances of make a blood rot token. So discarding the Ripple Away makes it 2 instances of make 0 blood rot tokens.
Oh, that's kind of dirty.
Yeah. Because it's from 2 different effects, so it's like 2 lines on the card, not... Like, it doesn't care that the card made 2 total, it cares that it has 1 make a blood rot, you know?
Yeah. Okay, wait a sec. I'm trying to remember what else I want to talk about from the dev talk. Oh yeah, no, we have to address the most egregious takeaway from dev talk 11 being the fact that James White plays paper scissors rock like a lizard person, and I don't know who calls it paper scissors rock, but I don't like it. I don't agree with it. And I would say
maybe that's just how it sounds when you're in New Zealand. There's some kind of like magnetic pole that makes rock paper scissors sound different on the other side of the planet.
Maybe, I don't know, man. I was trying to like think. I'm like, why? Like I was like, is it like a? I mean, it can't be a language thing, right? He's not ESL or anything, so like, I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's just the accent. Like, you know, we're Americans over here, so obviously it's like rock, paper, scissors, you know? And like, if you've got a Kiwi accent, you know, maybe just, you know, paper, you know, it sounds better to say it first, like, maybe. But I don't know. I've never heard anybody call it paper, scissors, rock. That was what he said, right? Paper, scissors, rock.
Yeah, I wrote it down immediately. It's actually the only thing I wrote down from the entire talk. That was my.
It upsets me because I think I wrote, dude. I wrote 1,600 characters in my notes because I thought that you were gonna like really gonna dissect this shit.
Well, I mean, I just watched it right before this, so it's all just so fresh in my head. I can talk about a lot of it.
Well, that's why I was that's why I was so specifically sure about the features 75% less often as regular Majestics, because I had like copy and pasted it out of the collector's center like, you know, a week ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, every set is different, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating to
well, see, that's the point. That's the point I was trying to make earlier. That if you know that one-handed Majestic weapons are going to be printed like this, then you'll know that to expect them less in the future.
I don't think it's 75% for all of them. I
think it is. I think it is.
I think Outsiders is the only set to have a 75% short.
Listen, you're not listening to me. I feel like you're getting so hung up on the fact that they're a Majestic and not listening to all the qualifiers. It is a Majestic one-handed weapon. So that means that...
I'm just thinking of across the board. For any other set, I don't think another set is that low for anything. And there's no way that there's only one Majestic one-handed weapon in all of
There isn't! No, because there's like 7 in Outsiders. You don't, that's... There's the Nerve Scalpel, the Orbitoclast, the Scale Peeler, the Spider's Bite. Well, the Spider's Bite is the normal one. But so Nerve Scalpel, Orbitoclast, and Scale Peeler... all short printed, features 75% as often as regular Majestics, and you've got to count them both twice because they did the left side and the right side. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different Majestics that are short printed, features 75% less often as regular Majestics. And I'm assuming that they did that in Outsiders Because there
That's
were so
why.
many daggers.
No, it's because there's a left and a right, I think, right? Is there a left and right for all of those?
Yes.
That's why it's 75%.
But now they said that it's exactly the same as Orbitoclast, but there isn't a left and right side. It's not on the sheet twice, unless it is. And then it's one of those things, like, is he saying that it's printed the exact same amount as both halves of Orbitoclast, or is it printed the same as out 009? You know what I mean?
I would bet it's so they're really good at like when you're looking at like rainbow foils, right? You're guaranteed one per pack, right? Or at least one. Yeah, one rainbow foil. So does that mean that all rainbow foils are, I don't have the percentages up there. It's not like a 1/24% for all rainbow foils, though, right? In reality, you've got I really should just pull up the spreadsheet. Let me, because I was actually playing with this in Mistvale numbers because I have so much data to work with in Mistvale. It's not like it's 1/24 for all of them. Realistically, it's like a 1 in 77% chance or something for like some cards, and well, not for rainbow foil, for cold foil.
Well, it's like a right? Multiplier, right? Like if it's a common cold foil, you like let's say
it's actually not a multiplier. Well, at least not based on what I have. So that was something I was playing with. Actually, we're gonna turn off my sad numbers. We're gonna turn off.
Stop looking at the numbers.
I don't even want to. I just don't even want to think about it.
We'll just move past it. Just plow right through.
Yeah, we're gonna turn this off, and we're gonna try and bring up a spreadsheet here. And this isn't a fancy, beautifully laid out spreadsheet. This is gonna be me beating my head against some numbers and not knowing enough about probability to figure it out. So, man, I really want to take some. Some sort of math class. I've actually been considering it. Missed. Okay.
What, a probability class, or
something, yeah, or something about. I'm not sure what type of math class probabilities dumped into, but
just look up whatever an actuary has to take. Because actuaries are the ones who come up with all the probabilities and adjust your insurance.
Oh, actually, that's not a bad idea. I think, do I even have... Oh my gosh, I don't have an Excel on this scene.
Actuary was actually something I was considering trying to get into just because I liked math. That was a very long time ago, though. I still kind of like math. You know, I'm decent at Flesh and Blood, so I'm somewhat okay at math.
Let's. This is all fairly old, but we're gonna actually just be looking. Wait, did I break it? Oh no, wait, did I delete it? Did I get so mad at it that I deleted it? I might have. Oh no. So here's where I was trying to figure out if there was like an X multiplier. So, right, a premium foil is 1 in 18 packs, right?
Okay.
The reality of that. Oh no, let's not go premium. No. Sorry, a premium is a 1 in 24. Sorry. So how that works out isn't, Fable, Legendary, Majestic, Rare, Common are all 1 in 24. In reality, Rare Common's a 1 in 29, and like Fable's up to like 1 in 1,536. But if you combine all of these odds together, you end up with 1 in 24. That's how you get your 1 in a box, right? This is also, sometimes why, you get, your Marvels or what have you. Actually, I don't even think I have
I'm
Marvels
trying to
on this.
follow. I'm trying to follow what this is, but then whenever you come up with more than 100%, you're losing me.
It's not more than 100%. So like 1 in, right? So these
I mean, I
numbers,
see 114% and
actually. Oh
105%.
yeah, wait a second. Let
I
me.
don't, and I don't understand
Wait, how do I get
what.
my mouse? Okay, sorry. Okay, so this is what the actual number is, right? So if you add all these up, this is your actual odds for a cold foil, right? But
Which is
this
23%.
okay, so ignore these. These this was something else I was trying to work out. For right now, just look at here, right?
Okay.
We're looking at the actual cold foil breakdowns. And so like this would be your 1 in 24%. Not 20. Well, yeah, 1 in 24 pack, whatever percent. But that number is actually the addition all of these, right?
Yeah.
And so this is where this number comes from. So you can do the same with rainbow foils, right? Um, so we know these are known. Almost all these are known. I think these ones are at least known. The Fable one is a bit more guesswork, but we can use
I feel like
the.
I feel like you have to be wrong on that rainbow foil fable. I feel like it should not be that close to what the cold foil fable is.
I mean, based off of 60,594 packs, that is the ratio they pulled in. So that's what I'm basing it off of. That's 600 cases, 2,400 boxes is 60,594. So this is where that all comes in from.
That's not even 1% of the print run, is it?
We don't know. We don't know what the
So
print
it's
run is for Misfail yet.
6,000. How many How many? You said 600 cases.
Yeah.
Should
So
be.
they go by boxes, right? So that's I like to think more 2,400.
Okay, so how many? 2,400 boxes. 2,400 boxes, and you've got to assume that it's at least 100,000.
It's
So this is
probably 165,000. Would be where I would guess Misfail was.
so it's like 1.5% as a sample. Is that right? No. Yeah, that's about 1.5%.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I can't get. It's harder to get more of a sample size than this, but yeah.
No, I know
it's
I know
yeah.
you can't do a better sample size than that. I'm just saying that the fable doesn't come along often enough that I think that 1.5% is a big enough sample to know for sure. I think it's pretty set in stone for the more frequent stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that comes out to a 1 in 12 cases for the rainbow foil and a 1 in 16 and a half. Well, and a half for cold foil. But realistically, rounding wise, I'm thinking it's a 1 in 16 and a 1 in 12 because they do seem to really like their like a base 4 counting system for a lot of things.
Oh yeah. Yes, they do.
So that's why I'm thinking realistically it's like a 1 in 12 and a 1 in 16.
I think 4 is just their magic number because it's even their magic number for like good attacks or good blocks.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's a very unlucky number in some cultures.
Yeah. Actually, you know what's crazy though is you're saying it's like 1.5% of the print run.
Well, if we assume that
But
it's about 160,000, that would mean that 1% would be 1,600 and 0.5% would be 800. So 1.5% would be 2,400, which is how many boxes this is, right?
right. But look at the gold pack Marvel picks they got. Of the 100, they got 3 of them. So they definitely got some juice out of that one. Like, so I think realistically there's like 500, not 100. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say because if they have 1.5% of the print run and then they pulled 3% of the marbles, that's a
Right?
pretty good roll. That's a pretty good roll.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll take those odds. I'd take half those odds, actually. I don't know. See my polls. But yeah, no, so that's where those numbers come from. But the whole point of this was, we were trying to figure out, like, the more detailed breakdowns. And that's the kind of stuff I'm trying to figure out to make more precise EVs. So I was trying to go. So yeah, you looked. Sorry, you can't see the mouse. I'm pointing at the presented one and not the actual spreadsheet. I was trying to see what percent, or like if there was a common multiplier between these, right? Because we know the basic multipliers in a pack of like common, rare, majestic, legendary, whatever, like that's the
Well,
most
so
base, not at a foil.
I
It's the
don't
most
remember.
base.
I don't remember who I was talking to or what I was reading. But is it like it's like a tiered system? Like I've heard of something where it's like tiered rarity, where it's like, oh, there's a whole ton of the common, and then there's like a fraction of that at rare, and then there's like a fraction of that at legendary, and then a fraction of that. Like, is it like a golden ratio type of situation?
That's what I've been trying to figure out, and from what I can tell, no.
Okay.
Uh, like I don't know. I was trying to figure out. So yeah, I was trying to figure out of like what percentages, which is where I started coming up with these more than 100%, and that's coming even off of, like, even if we ignore this, right? This
Well, you're coming up with more
0.09%.
than 100% because something you're doing is wrong. But
No, these numbers come from the collector center. So even
no,
if
I
I
hear you.
right, but they're estimates. These aren't solid numbers, right? And I think that's what the collection center also really. So there's definitely some wiggle room. So I'm more comfortable with this. This is probably right. Unfortunately, the cold foil, I definitely don't think is right. I think there. Oh, I mean, it's right based off of the data I have, which doesn't make sense. But
Which means the data is wrong. Well, the
it's
data can be what it is, but the data is incomplete, we'll say.
yeah, yeah. It's either incomplete or actually I can't even remember fully what I was trying to do with
Well,
this.
I still think
The
that 1.5% is not enough to be, like I said, the numbers will bleed through for the more common stuff, but for the rarest of the rare, I don't think 1.5% is a big enough sample to be sure.
Yeah, but I was trying to find like is a majestic is 1.62 times more likely than a rare, but a legendary is like 3.71 times more. Or I was looking at at the step ups. Like I don't know. It was.
I feel
Oh
like
no,
you've got those
sorry.
two reversed. Like
No,
it
yeah,
should be a
sorry.
bigger.
Yeah, no, sorry. The X is legendary is 3.71 of a fable, but a majestic was only like 1.62 times more than like the legendary, which doesn't make sense in my head. There's too many. There's just too many legendary cold foils being pulled in that data set. Like that's crazy, right? Like the number of legendary cold foils 141. I mean, well, you don't even necessarily have to combine them, but it's like half the number of majestic cold foils. But I don't know. It's very interesting. I don't know. I didn't have plans to bring this up because I would have cleaned it up and gone into it a bit more. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you're
There's
trying to play Moneyball here, but you don't have all of the data, unfortunately.
right, which is why I wasn't really going to bring it up. But I think I really just wanted to bring up the tiering isn't as obvious as you'd think. It doesn't seem to actually be a multiplier based off its root rarity as much as some other magical system that LSS knows about that I haven't figured out yet, and I don't know if anyone's figured out yet, but um, I don't think it's as clear as going off of base rarity, unfortunately. No, it probably has something to do with it. I'm guessing there's an actual equation that they fill out that actually figures out all of this stuff. Which makes me sad. I don't know. So now I just have to get a job at LSS and then figure it out. I think that's the only solution.
Yeah, that's really interesting because I'm trying to figure out where I heard about this. I was definitely listening to someone where they talked about like the type of rarity that they wanted. Was it in the dev talk? So I feel like somewhere I heard somebody talking about like it's like whenever you start getting up to the highest rarity, like they want it to be like a fraction of the thing before it. I've got to figure out what that was, because there's got to be some kind of like
Well, that's
design philosophy around rarity in a loot box system.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to figure out. Like once I figured out it's not just an X multiplier of the base rarity, I was thinking it was a step up where, like a common is, a percentage of a rare, which is a percentage of a majestic, which is a percentage of a legendary, which is a percentage of a fabled, but based off the data, it's, I don't know. It's not quite that.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not, a quick Google is not coming up with this, but for some reason, I feel like there's got to be some kind of like theory or something that has been used before that has somebody's name attached to it or has some kind of name attached to it. It's just gonna take some research.
I just think they changed it. I think there's still. I think it's just still up in the air. I don't know if, like, we can look at pull rates and stuff from some like older sets, and it does seem like it's blocks where they'll like try a certain type of pull rate for 2 or 3 sets, and then they tweak it, and then they try again, and then so I think Mistvale, like Heavy Hitters, was definitely the end of this block. Mist and Rosetta are very, very similar with the pull rates. So that's why I went with Hunted having roughly the same as Rosetta. But then the Slippy numbers came in, and I don't know if Slippy's just more common or people just don't want it. But like we know that the rates for Rosetta Thorn was like 1 in 220 cases, which was crazy. Like, I don't know.
Looking at the Slippy price just makes me kind of like, I keep looking at the Rosetta. I'm like, get cheaper, please, get cheaper,
please. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I think they definitely loosened up some of the really ridiculous pulls. Which is,
I don't know. I feel like maybe people just don't want slipped through the cracks because they already have like the cold foil from Prague or something like that.
I mean, but Rosetta Thorn was, everyone's got a Rosetta Thorn. Most people probably have 100 Rosetta Thorns. Like
the Marvel Rosetta Thorn, in my mind, is even more crazy than any Marvel that they've ever done. Like the back of the Rosetta Thorn Marvel is so freaking cool. Like I wish that they would take swings like that on more cards, like the fact that it's just like I don't know. I love the Marble Rosetta Thorn. I thought it was an amazing design. You know, I don't if Kruchaga did that whole thing, you know, obviously they paid Kruchaga a lot of money already, I assume, but he's really just amazing. I love that art.
I think that they slashed the print run because it's a hero. That they expected a lot of people to want and people to get really upset about not pulling one of. So I think they loosened it up. But I think, and at
Are you
that
saying
point,
there isn't something that's even Rosetta rarity in Hunted?
I don't think there is. I mean, I think it's the most rare pull, but it's not going to actually be Rosetta level. I mean, actually, yeah, I don't know. Until we see some actual numbers, I don't know. Maybe people were kind of making it into a Rosetta Thorn, and maybe it actually isn't. And maybe you're right about that. I mean, that actually probably makes more sense than.
I love how we're talking about this, and it looks like somebody bought out. Like the only one that's left on the market is $600. So maybe
What, the
you're putting your
Slippy?
foot in your mouth right now. Yeah. The last one that sold on market was 300, then 314, then 318. Somebody high sale price looks like 350. Now the lowest one on market is 600. So
Actually,
as
how
you're
many
saying,
how many have sold? And the one
at
thing you actually have to look at the data. You can't just go off of its total sold number.
9, 2 of them today.
So that's interesting. Because I think I sent you the number of them sold yesterday. I think it was only 7, so yeah, that makes sense.
And I'm looking at the other Marvel, which looks like it has more. So
And it's hard to go off of sales data because I guarantee if people thought
there's
that it was
27 sales of Marionette Marvel, so there is roughly triple the sales of Marionette than there are Slip Through the Cracks. So
yeah.
I think Slip Through the Cracks might be Rosetta Thorn rarity, and people were just down on it because everybody thought that Mario was better than Cracks, and I think that's a fallacy.
Oh, I don't know. I'm maybe more inclined to think if people thought it was Rosetta Rarity when they pulled it, I bet we're gonna have a ton of graded Slippies showing up on eBay in like 3 months when they when they get them back.
But what I think is that people didn't realize that, or like didn't think that it's Rosetta Rarity, or even if they did think it was Rosetta Rarity, they didn't think that it was worth as much as a Rosetta, which I think they're wrong. I mean, the numbers here don't lie. There's only 4 on market, 2 from the same person, and they're all over $600. 9 of them have sold, and 27 of the other one have sold, and it's still fighting to go above 300. There's still plenty on market at the 300 for Mario, but Slippy, they're just not there. I think that people thought that Slip Through the Cracks was much worse than Marionette because Slip Through the Cracks is a different deck and you can't play it exactly the same. So there's like a whole different thing you got to do, and people didn't figure that out the first week like they did Mario. So then people think, oh, well, this is not as good as Mario, so who cares that it's Rosetta Rarity? And now it looks like today we're getting a fix of that. Like, I think that was an incorrect take, which is not really super surprising to me because the people that can move the market are just regular people. Like, so they obviously can fuck up, and I think the people that have been selling Slip Through the Cracks for $300 fucked up. What's so special about these tokens that you're just totally engrossed?
Oh no, I'm not engrossed. I'm sorry. I'm thinking. Sorting is so, at this point in my life, it's just so second nature. I'm not even thinking about it. Well, I was just thinking for a second, if which token has the other side of the Centauri Saber?
Maybe they only put the left one in it.
I think they did because I'm looking at the back of the high rise. Yeah.
They gotta sell
Weird.
those cold foil right Centauri Sabers out of Crucible somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I just sold. Well, I didn't sell the cold foil ones, but I've been selling the
I
normal
think
other
that
ones.
I actually think that what they're doing now, based on the gem packs, is that in the set they're only going to give you the one face, the left face, and then you'll get the right face as a cold foil in the gem pack, because the gem packs have left facing and right facing, and nothing else does. So I think that within the tokens they have cut down on the tokens by making the one-handed weapons only have one side, but then, you know, still let people have both sides once we're talking about, like, blinging out your deck.
What's the head Quicksilver daggers?
Both.
No, which set? Which set? I know it had both. That's why I'm trying to remember.
Dynasty.
It
It's
was
Dynasty.
Okay. Yeah,
It's either
okay.
Dynasty or...
That makes sense. I am selling a ton of Dynasty singles. I'm loving Dynasty season.
Yeah, it's Dynasty.
Well,
I mean, the Dynasty singles should be going crazy because all the fucking Dynasty's gone. Like,
yeah,
there's not... I mean, if somebody wants a card out of Dynasty, they're going to be hitting you up, even if it's a common or a rare, because nobody's spending $200 just to gamble for the CNC they're not going to pull. You gotta have some big balls to just start ripping open Dynasty, being like, I'm gonna get the Command and Conquer.
yeah, it's a little rough.
It is a little sad that you never went and got Dynasty, because you didn't open it, did you?
Dynasty?
That's not. So I don't think that's one that you opened, because we had talked about it, and I was like, you should, but
it was one
but
of
now
two sets I didn't. What was the other one?
I think the other one you haven't opened is probably Uprising.
I thought I ended up opening one on. I think I did one Uprising. I think when we talked about it, I bought Uprising. I'm pretty sure I opened it on stream, actually.
Oh.
Just because we talked about it.
Look like now.
Yeah.
$298 for a case, $66 for. I mean, there's some good marbles in here. I mean, the marble. I mean, Erase Face up to 17. To be honest with you, I mean, Uprising doesn't look like a bad box anymore. I mean, sure, you can't play any of the dragons unless you want to play Blitz or Living Legend, but there's some good cards in here. I'm surprised Uprising, the card, is still over $1 because it's just horrible. I know it's a block 3 that says your next 4 Draconic attacks get +1, but like, meh.
I can't remember if there was anything else I want to talk about. I feel like I had a lot of Brody things I wanted to talk about because
I would really not want to beat the horse to death.
I know, but like I think just like as more things come out, it's just kind of like, oh come on.
My entire take on it is that people can do things and then change their mind on how they want to do things. People can grow and change. Let's give him a second to see if he's going to change. He is not a fully formed adult. Everybody knows your brain doesn't stop developing until you're in your 20s.
Yeah, 25.
So in my mind, as long as he learns something and whatever, like, hopefully people forget about this soon enough, you know, but, you know, please don't keep going out and slow playing, for God's sakes.
Can't remember, did we bring up the old Brian tweet where he talks about that?
I don't know. I think we brought it up last week, honestly.
Okay. I know we talked about wanting to bring it up, but I couldn't remember if we actually did end up bringing it
up. There is one thing that I wanted to bring up from the dev talk, and it's something I think we might have mentioned before, but they keep saying shit that reminds me. They totally underestimate the people playing their game, and I don't understand it. And I'm not sure if they're just trying to say it as a cop out at this point, because but like they're like, oh well, we banned Zephyr Needle and we should have banned it sooner, but we didn't think people would figure it out that quick, and blah 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 blah, and everybody just figured out that Needle Ira was the best deck in the format as soon as we made these retrieve cards, and I'm like, yeah, we all have eyes, okay.
I don't
Like,
know. You say that, but I think you come from such a biased perspective on that because you're into like actually making your decks. When as someone who makes all of my money off of sheep, I you know, and you talk about it too, right? Like most of the time, people are just waiting for someone to solve a deck, like oh the new Yuki guide's out, or already has this Syndra deck. And then everyone copies and pastes that deck, and that's just what they're doing. Everyone's just net decking these days. It's a very, very net deck economy for Flesh and Blood. And so I don't know. I don't think it's as easy to spot these things as you may think it is. I think you just have a really good time at it because you're good at it, but I think your average player is probably dog water at it.
well, we'll see. I did make the bold claim of saying that flick knives would be banned within the year, and I still kind of stand by it. To tell you
Really?
the truth, yeah, no, no. So I thought that it was already like too good just based on its own value, but in combination with Bloodstained Vest, it is so disgusting. It's really good. Like if Shelter from the Storm didn't exist, she would be tier 0 by far. And the reason I say that is because you can look at Yuki's red line list. It relies so hard on getting those explosive turns where you've hit with a dagger and you can get more energy off the Bloodstained Vest. The turns where they actually are able to discard the Shelter from the Storm to stop a dagger hit and the flick of the other dagger at the same time to deny you the resource off your Bloodstained Vest is like extremely critical. Like if you just let them get however much resources off their Bloodstained Vest whenever they want, it's fucking over. Like it's just very good. It's just very good. They made flick knives better than it's ever been before by printing Syndra and retrieve cards. And then they also power crept Spring Tunic in blood splattered vest. And it's just a nasty, nasty combination that I really, really the way that they talk about other things and the way that I at least feel like I understand the game, it's like the same reason why they printed Duskblade and then they're like, oh, well, I want Duskblade to be in the set. We're going to print Warmonger's Diplomacy because it'll counter Duskblade. And then they end up banning Duskblade anyway. I think they printed Shelter from the Storm to be the counter for Flick Knives and the Bloodstained Vest being able to get resources off the hit from Flick Knives as well. They said, well, we can counter that with Shelter the Storm and Calming Breeze. I think they'll just end up banning it anyway.
Really? I don't know. I feel like they've really done well because, both Jarl and like Illusionist both play well against Flick Knives.
It doesn't. Like... So here's something that you'll find doesn't matter. Yes, it can be beaten. You're not going to sit down against Syndra or somebody with Flick Knives and go, I'm going to lose just because they have Flick Knives. I'm not saying that Flick Knives is a card that is an I win button and is totally degenerate. I am saying that it gives so much value over time, then it's going to warp the format around it. Like everybody has to have Shelter. And at some point, even though it's beatable, people are going to get sick of it. And they're going to ban Flick Knives.
Well, no, I think what I'm trying to say is more that I think they've finally gotten better at beefing up the counter, right? Like, it's not just Shelter, right? Like, look at Jarl, right? Like, Jarl does fine now, and imagine if they wouldn't have printed Jarl right before. I'm sure another...
No, I understand.
Come up,
Oldhim got Crown of Seeds banned even though other decks could beat him. But everybody got tired of how much value he got every single turn by cycling his arsenal. Because, like, at the end of the day, their ban list, I don't know if they necessarily... I'm not sure what they specifically say that their ban list is for, but I know what Konami uses their ban list for, and I know how things can turn out. Like,
I don't know. I'm just not.
I'm telling you that the Flick Knives blood splattered vest combo is so strong that it's going to keep decks in the top for a while, and at a certain point when other decks aren't just straight up better than them, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it's just going to depend on how much Syndra ends up. I mean, honestly, I thought we'd be seeing way more Syndra than we have currently been seeing.
I mean, so there is 3 Syndras at the Battle Hardened Barcelona. There was one Syndra that won Christchurch, and then there was a Syndra in the top 8 of Battle Hardened Portland.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
Syndra also got the most LL points this season, like knocking Zen out of the picture practically. Zen didn't get any. Like, he got like 19 points or something. Like, I do think the meta is healthy. I think Flick Knives is like the ceiling of power. Like, I think that they know that Syndra's a good deck. They know that Mario's a good deck. They know that Flick Knives is a fantastic card now. It's how you make an exciting metagame. I mean, walking this line is what makes them so good. But what my entire point is that regardless, at the end of the day, they print the good cards to make exciting games. But Flick Knives is a little too consistent, a little too everything. Like, it, you know, I mean, it'd be cool if I'm wrong, right? But it's like, I'm not hanging my hat on it and saying I'm gonna eat my hat if they don't ban it or whatever. Like, I concede that I could be wrong, obviously, but I see the power inherent in the card, and based on their prior actions, I think they'll ban it.
I just don't think they will, because well, at least currently, I don't think we're seeing enough heroes, like enough Syndras hitting day 2s to actually, like, maybe day 1 is just Flick Knife Central, right? We see crazy numbers of Syndras, then you look at day 2, and that number is real low. Like, super low.
Well, yeah. If you take into account that they don't necessarily want to use the ban list or Living Legend to be rotation, like, I don't know.
I just don't see the domination that, like, Oldhim was a lot of day 2 Oldhims, a lot more. I think more than it being in the top 8.
I wish that you would actually have data to back this up instead of just saying.
Well, let's
because I don't believe it.
Numbers. You don't think?
I
you
don't
think there was a minimal Oldhims? All people would talk
listen.
about.
I'm telling you that Oldhim is not. Oldhim was never that like, Oldhim was great, but he was never that popular. He was the least popular powerful deck because people didn't want to play slow. They didn't want to play a grindy Guardian deck. Like, it wasn't, 8 Oldhims showing up and it just being a top 8 of all Oldhims. But
well, no, but I don't know. Gosh, I wish. Oh man, we need an itinerary.
Because I just want to say, I feel like my vibes on it are a lot closer to correct than yours, because you can't just pull numbers out of your ass like that.
Well, no, but I just know what I hear a lot of people bitching and moaning about. Like when Oldhim was out, all you would hear is all of this, all of this. How many people do you see? How many people on social media, in the Discord?
Because it's an aggro deck. Because all of the people that are the type of person that bitch online only care about getting fatigued. They don't give a shit about the aggro deck that they're probably playing. Yeah. You are basing your opinion on people on the internet complaining, and that is a horrible data set.
I don't know. I mean, it changes policies apparently, so.
I don't think that you can say that about like what people feel like when they play. Oldhim was a deck that people hated to play against and hated to play, and it was very good and got a lot of value off of Crown of Seeds and got Crown of Seeds banned, and then was still a good deck after Crown of Seeds was banned.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely gonna go look at Oldham. That'll be next week's episode. I'm gonna be looking at Oldham.
Yeah, if you can actually,
Yeah.
like, if you look at like percentages for Oldhim and percentages for Syndra, like, find some shit, like maybe even pre Crown ban, because you know, But yeah, I know that Oldhim was a good deck the whole time he existed, but he was not the like only deck people were playing.
I don't think it was the only one, but I mean, we were definitely in a meta where there wasn't 20 heroes for sure, right? Like, so there was definitely a higher percentage of Oldhams that you had to deal with, and maybe not even like lose to them, but play against. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because it's just that we're talking about the same meta that would have had like Chain in it too, right? For some of that, and then Briar for some of it. I think Briar for most of it.
Oh yeah, I guess competitive as a whole was a real mess right then, wasn't it? People, yeah, Briar was a little.
Yeah, I mean, we're
silly.
not.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get the point across to you, is that Oldhim was not some tier 0 deck, but he still got a legend banned because of the value it presented.
And I would just say, and I don't know, my case is that it was because I think it's percentages. I think, I don't know, I don't think if Syndra isn't dominating with it and it's not becoming a problem, then I just don't think it's going to be, because I think there's enough meta counters that they've geared up, through armory decks.
It's not even like I disagree with what you're saying. I'm just saying that I think those like, I feel like you are starting from a place and working backwards and saying that Oldhim was more dominant because he got a card banned instead of like him getting a card banned, even though he's probably around the same numbers as Syndra, probably.
Oh, there's no way, right? Well, I mean, we'd also have to adjust for inflation, right? So
I think you have to adjust for the fact
player,
that people don't want to play an Ice Guardian and people do want to play Syndra. Like, a Draconic Ninja is ridiculously more popular than an Old Man Winter, okay? The people playing Old Man Winter skew more sweaty, more pro-focused. The people who play Syndra are literally everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I can't defend the fact that Syndra's not just super cool, right? Like that. Yeah, okay, you got me there. It's yeah, but I don't know. It's I'm definitely gonna have to pull up those numbers.
I would be very interested to see who's correct in that, and I will concede the point if you're right. That's fine. But I would really like to see some numbers on it, because that's actually interesting.
Yeah, because it'll have to be by percentages, right? Not by numbers, because like I don't want to be like, oh, well, because like what 60 Syndras, but like however many years ago there weren't that many people. I mean, I guess there was probably that many people, but I mean, like the player base is smaller, so by going by percentages of numbers, I think it's more realistic, and that'll show more of a dominance in the current meta at the time. I just hope they have the same data like they used to, like they put out now. I can't tell you how much I really enjoy going through their articles and seeing all of like the breakdowns. Though I didn't realize how much of it, they don't always put them on the articles. I didn't realize I had to go through the streams to like screenshot breakdowns of like day 1, day 2, and all that. And I'm really glad some people just go out of their way to do that on like the subreddit and everything.
Yeah,
But
that is nice. It would be
yeah,
better if you could actually find it on the website.
right. Yeah, if their website was good, it would be a whole other thing. But yeah, it's rough.
But I tell you what, even if they don't ban flick knives, it's really a win-win situation for me because, if they do ban it, then I was right about them banning it. But if they don't ban it, I'm still gonna keep playing Syndra with flick knives because I, I'm, I'm, I'm telling everyone how good the fucking card is because I believe it's very good and I play it and it seems crazy to me. And usually whenever the red flags are going off of like this card is insane, like that's just where the power level is, and I think it's in that territory where, depending on what else happens, who knows?
I would almost wager that this weekend is maybe where we see where things settle. Because it does normally take a couple weeks after the premiere weekend, like the next two, which I think is what I normally gotten my metrics off of. Like I said, I mean, week two was way different than week one, and then week three, I just haven't looked at. I haven't looked at anything for week three or this week.
Well, I mean, we've
So,
also got Road to Nationals this week, like that are happening like as we speak, or like probably just finished. You know,
yeah. Well, I think we're into week two of Road to Nationals now, right? I think week
so I
one
mean,
data already came out.
we're gonna start to see like a lot of top eight performances numbers come in, and we'll be able to see. Like, I mean, I think we've already seen Syndra put up higher LL point numbers than anybody else, and we'll see how wild it gets because if she gets to like 400 in her first season, oh yeah, they're banning flick knives.
Yeah, maybe. It is surprising, I think, the number of LO points she's putting
She
up
got over
for
100 already.
right for how few are of them are making it into day twos and top eights, right? Like, I don't know. It seems like, well, I can't say it seems if when they hit a top eight, but like at least the ones that have been streaming that we can watch, like you see a Syndra in the top eight, and chances are she's winning it. But even with that knowledge out there and like all the guides out there now for it and how locked in and dialed in Syndra seems, like to see so few of them making it into like day twos because all of I mean, we saw a Jarl win. We saw two Verdance wins. We're seeing, Vinsets coming into day twos. Thank goodness. She's the top eight. Actually, we saw Vincent into the top eight, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
so,
top
like, I
aided.
don't know. I don't know.
I mean, a lot of it comes down to player skill. Like I said, Syndra is very popular. So if there's a lot of people playing her, there's gonna be a lot of bad people playing her. There's gonna be a lot of good people playing her. And a Verdance, it's got life gain, it's got all types of damage stopping and whatever. And if you go up against a Syndra who is just like throwing their hand at you and not trying to like come up with something huge to like overwhelm you, like there's a right way and a wrong way to play games, and not everybody knows the right way to play certain matchups.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if Verdance is just like an auto loss for Syndra or not, but I know for a fact that any hero can beat any hero if somebody screws up and the other person plays to their outs. So it's not always so cut and dry in that sense. But, whenever you see Brody on Syndra, you can assume that he's probably going to play the deck right. You see another pro like Yuki, you can assume they're probably going to play the deck right.
Yeah. And I don't know. I did find it really funny. Yuki was tweeting, I think, on release. She's like, I know like the exact mess up, and like she's already analyzed her two losses, completely broken it down. These are the mistakes I made based off these assumptions, and like gear up and ready for week two. And so yeah, I mean even the pros screw up. I think what differentiates the pros from the casuals is the ability to self reflect maybe and take some learning moments from those, right? Like they say a loss you don't learn something from is losing twice, and definitely in this game.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's if you fundamentally believe something that is incorrect, you are losing a lot of games that you haven't even played yet.
Yeah, and I don't know. I did want to go in a bit, sales, interesting sales data, wise. I've been talking to you, I think, behind the scenes a bit more on it, but I've been seeing a lot of people buying what seem to be commoner decks and blitz decks, which, a month ago, you would never see two of a card sold, ever. It would always be threes, and I think that's just because of how, man, I didn't realize how crooked this camera is. Uh, just how prevalent CC is, but I'm thinking that, with the huge boom of casual players that we're now seeing in the scene, commoners getting more popular, lists getting more popular, and people are actually buying deck lists off of, February or whatever through TCG Player, and I've been really happy to see that. I mean, not financially. I prefer people buy three of every card instead of two of every card, but for the health of the game, it's pretty exciting to see. You know.
Well, I mean, the fantastic part about Blitz is that you think that 20 decks are viable in CC. So many decks are viable in Blitz. Now, obviously, you go to a Blitz tournament, you're probably only going to see like a few decks because there are some that are just straight up better than others. They'll be able to like kill you on turn 3 faster or something like that, or maybe sooner than that, really. But that's like why Victor LL'd in Blitz so quickly, and yet he's barely doing anything in CC. Because there's certain things that, if you just do something a little bit unfair in Blitz, you can win games like you couldn't win in CC. Like Reinar doesn't really do much in CC, but he's been banned in Blitz because he's absolutely ridiculous in Blitz because you just get one good combo turn and he absolutely will do 20 damage to your face and you didn't have any cards to block it.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is that whenever you play a deck like that, you can really only do that once, and it doesn't really work in CC. But it works perfectly in Blitz with the less amount of health, and that's what people talk about. Like, oh, it's not a real format, blah 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 blah. Blitz is as much a real format as Hearthstone is a real game.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a faster, swingier game. That's it. And people can be mad that it's swingier, but in my mind, it's just easier to play, faster fab.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's casual. It was Blitz is to like Heroes of the Storm what Constructed is to League of Legends, and I mean, at this point, even the toxicity, I think sometimes. But, yeah,
but no, honestly, I do think that Hearthstone's a perfect comparison because I mean, I haven't played that in a really long time, but whenever you got things like Flame Juggler that just like, am I going to hit your face or am I going to ping your dude I need it to ping? Like, it's a swingy game.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And they're short, they're fun. You can play with a lot more people. I've always thought that from a social aspect, like it's way more fun. I don't know. I would rather play like 3 games against 3 different people than be stuck in one game that I know I'm gonna lose most of.
Well, I mean, in Flesh and Blood, whenever you talk about Classic Constructed, if you got 2 aggro decks going against each other, sure, maybe it only takes 15, 20 minutes. That's definitely possible. But then you get the finals of Battle Hardened Barcelona that's Jarl versus Verdance, and the shit goes literally 90 minutes. And it's like, you just got to be glad that it's untimed in the top 8.
Yeah, wow.
And they weren't even playing particularly slow. They were just, playing. I think they were playing at a good pace for the decks that they were playing, to be honest.
How many turns did it end up? Do you know? Some of them like to gauge by that.
I don't know how many turns. All I know is that they pitch stacked like they were joking. They're like, okay, he's setting up the fourth cycle. Okay.
Yeah.
But that Jarl really pitch stacked like a monster. because it was like a tear asunder Titan's Fist swing into a Command and Conquer swing into some, like, it was just bang bang bang, turn after turn of disruption. They knew what they were doing to take care of that Verdance. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about, or are we
Oh,
about
I think the other thing is there's an event that usually happens a month or so after a set comes out that I like to call the blingening, which is where people will spend stupid amounts of money on stupid shiny things and pay me a lot, way too much, really, realistically, I think, for the foils. Uh, and as well as like marbles and all that kind of stuff. And I'm seeing a lot of that now, which really gobsmacked me. I mean, maybe it's just a difference in buying behavior now that there's more casual people in. But I don't know if casuals are buying like 12 foils or whatever for their decks. It just seemed really interesting to me that it seems like people are kind of settling in and not buying things for the current big decks. Like I'm not seeing a ton of stuff anymore for Syndra. Like a week ago, it was all draconic and all that. Now I'm not selling anything draconic. None of my I've got so I don't know. I prioritize getting a whole bunch of uprising bulk and I mean I did a bunch of outsiders and what was the other set? Dynasty. Yeah, I got all three loaded up on bulk, tossed them all in. They sold super well the first week. Now nothing. Not seeing much of anything. So
I mean, people got on the train, right? Maybe they
yeah.
decided they didn't like Syndra. They started buying the cards, and then they're like, "What do you mean rainbow foil flick knives is $150 now?"
Yeah, but I don't know. I just find it really interesting. I'm selling a lot of foils right now. Enough where I was like actually looking at bulk foil boxes where I'm like I could make a killing. The
Oh,
bulk
I
foil
did.
boxes are crazy.
I did want to mention, like, okay, so the cold foil quick dodge flexors that we got. So the last week, whenever we got that Arachne, we were like just gushing over how good the cold foil looked. The quick dodge flexors has that same metallic sheen on it. Like, they're perfect. They're amazing looking.
Oh, I wonder if did they change the type of cold foiling with Hunted? Like, I
They
don't
they
know.
honestly might have. I would like to see a cold foil hunter's clave.
Hmm. Yeah, that would be interesting. Because it's printed the same way that the zero, right? Are the zero rainbow one?
Not that
No,
I'm aware of. I think the
no.
zero gauge stuff is only in the gem packs so far. It was the
No, no. I just meant like the how it's printed. Like it's printed more like a cold foil, where it's not like a sheet, right? Like both cold foil and zero gauge are like printed on the card, which is why they don't curl. And I don't know. I'm just wondering if in the pursuit of getting zero gauge where it needs to be, if they took those techniques to like the cold foils and the hunted.
feel like they had to have done something. They changed cold foiling in some way in this set, and I don't know exactly what it is, but it looks great.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those like trickle down R&D things. Is what my guess would be. Like when you go to Disney, I'm always a big fan of you'll see a bunch of little changes to a bunch of different rides. Like in Epcot, there's like the big paragliding thing, and then they added like smell-o-vision and like mist one year out of like nowhere, and you're like, oh, this is kind of cool. And like I'm in Hong Kong, and I'm their haunted mansion is not called the haunted mansion. It's like a big haunted. Well, there's no ghost. It's I don't know,
Oh,
a
'cause they can't
troubled or
have
whatever.
ghosts.
Yeah,
Oh my
but whatever
gosh.
their version is the type of ride that it was this type of cart, and now like the rides are giant warehouses that are flat, and you've got like self-driving like cool looking car thingies that zoom around, so you're not actually on rails anymore. And 3 years later, Pandora drops at Disney, and I'm going there, and they have their big flight ride that used to have like 5-7 hour like waits for it. You know what? Smell-o-vision was in there. The misting stuff was added in there, and you can just tell that they took those things and started during R&D and tested it with other rides, and like that thing in Hong Kong, which was like a very unique, only that, and all of Disney, all the different parks, only that park had it, and now every single new ride it feels like at Disney uses that same technology. Like the Ratatouille ride does it. Um, she was the other one. There's another really big popular ride that does it, but I don't know. I just feel like it would make sense in my head that with the way that Zero Gauge prints, um, and how fantastic their foiling team is, the fact that they expanded their foiling team again, I don't know. I would not be surprised if this was not related somehow, and we're just reaping the benefits of it. Uh, I don't know. I just want to. I kind of want to make a little shrine to the foiling team behind me. I'll find a picture of. I
I mean,
forgot her
they've
name,
come
but
they've
it's
come such a long way from Ravenous Rabble having the foiling just on its stupid eyes.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's so night and day. I love it. I don't know. I'm more passionate about the foiling in this game than probably any other aspect. I just
Dude,
love it so
like I
much.
love playing this game. I think it's like mechanically like one of the best games that's ever been created. Um, but also I love the way that the cards look. I've got the Marvel Codex of Frailties because that parchment thing with like the red cold foil that makes it look like it's drawn and written in blood. Like whenever they go all out to make a Marvel, it's fucking great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just keep thinking back to that with that one. What was the agile windup? Um, with that like the sun axe. No wait, what was it?
I mean, it's just one of those things where it's
Yeah,
like not everything can be a 10 out of 10, right? But like when they hit it, they hit it.
yeah, yeah. No, they definitely. Yeah, because like I mean, Clash of Agility is kind of whatever. I don't care about like a lot of these clashes, but then like some of them just hit so hard. I don't know. Yeah, like draw swords is super cool. I really like the draw swords foil. I don't know. I guess I'm never gonna find this. I don't care that much, but the art is so good. I was actually thinking back of it because you were talking about like, oh, I never really uh know what you like about it, and I don't know. Honestly, a lot of the time, like what I like in a card is not even just like, oh, this is a cute girl or this is anime girls. It's more sometimes it's just about like a lot of it's just nostalgia. Like I love vintage Magic because when I'm going through like a box of vintage that I just picked up, I'm like, oh, I remember getting this when I was like 12, and like, or like, oh, like my first like player thing for 7th edition with like the Thorn Elemental was on a family vacation. We stopped in Scranton at like a great aunt's house, and we picked up Magic cards, and we were playing in our living room, and I just like those cards just bring back all these memories, and I kind of like that old style, Magic the Gathering. So like, I was going through a bunch of bulk earlier, and like, what was it called? Emerge, Energy Emerge, Merge. Shoot, it's I think it's Arcane or no, it's Welcome to Wrath. It's like Emergent Energy. It's like kind of a bald guy. He's got his fist up, and it's like red, and it's like I don't know. It doesn't look.
Emerging dominance?
Was it Emerging Dominance? Maybe. It's like very red. It's like a big red swirl, but it's like an old style, like kind of oily, painty looking art, and it doesn't necessarily look great on its own, but like it really tickles that like nostalgic, like old vintage Magic art style. And I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. I just love that. And we've already got Mark Poole over. Man, is Dan Fraser still around? I feel like we need some Dan Fraser art. I would love some Dan Fraser cards. So
I mean, I can't even really think of Magic art. Like whenever I played Magic, I don't even think I cared about the artist back then. I've come a long way in growing up since then.
honestly, I didn't really look too much into the artists themselves until the Secret Lair drops. And then it kind of like clicked in my head, like, oh, they're doing a Dan Fraser drop. Oh, they're doing a Mark Poole drop. Oh, they're doing like a Fiona Staples drop. Or a Jen Bartel drop. Like, oh, who are these artists? Let me look into it, and then like was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But then when I hit Flesh and Blood, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta follow this person's art station. I've got to follow them on Twitter. I want to see what they're tweeting and talking about. And
Well, I mean,
uh,
I think LSS is doing a really great job of just like finding these artists because it's like these are artists that have done art for other games and whatnot, but like I don't know their names, but now I know them because they're on Flesh and Blood cards, and you know, it's cool. I never used to pay attention, but now that I do pay attention and certain cards come out, I'm just like, yeah, LSS really picked out like a great people to do art for them.
I do think it's fantastic how global like the range of artists is as well. Like you're not just
Oh yeah.
seeing right, like you're seeing from every country around the world. You're seeing artists like
Well, like
the best
it's
artists.
it's hilarious to me because I love Lindner's art and I follow him on Blue Sky, and then I was like, he like posted something in I don't know what language he speaks. I tried to translate it and Google Translate was not strong enough to get me something that I believed was grammatically what he actually said. so so I was just like, oh well, dang. I guess I just don't know what he's talking about. That's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. It's cool. And even like some people, some of the earlier artists, not like the OG3, but I was thinking like around the time of Monarch and Tails, maybe Tails specifically. They didn't just get like normal artists, like not just experienced card or board game artists, but just like Instagram artists. Like you'll just see like sometimes you'll just see like a handle at the bottom of a card, and you're like, oh, who's that? Like, oh, and
Well,
actually, I think that's how I got. It's like Soya May, right? Like Soya May,
exactly.
right?
That was the
Yeah.
first person I had ever seen that was like, or no, the one that I knew noticed before was Bima with pencil, the one that
Uh,
did Spellbound Creepers and Seeds of Agony.
yeah. So I don't know. I think it's cool. I think I'm glad they give a lot of artists that that chance. I mean, MetaZoo was kind of doing it. I thought it was like, Wubby's wife was an artist on MetaZoo before, the new CEO came in and they, self-destructed as an entire company. But like, it was really cool. Like artists, like even like a Twitch streamer, right? Like a Twitch streamer artist, like getting the chance to do that. Um,
Yeah. I
it
mean,
was cool.
I was one of the ones that actually liked MetaZoo's art, so you're not gonna get any complaints out of me for that. Because I thought that it's if you're gonna have an identity, then you know that's cool. They actually like said that they're gonna be this quirky thing. They're gonna be this old school looking thing, and they really did a good job at that. Literally, the only things that they were bad at was like the business, like.
Yeah, being a card company, it was
Yeah, like if they could
yeah,
have actually just been like, we make cards instead of like fucking skateboards and energy drink powder or whatever the shit they were doing.
right. Yeah. Oh, poor Gamer Subs. Well, Gamer Subs got his V card now, and hilariously enough, the art director, I think she's the art director, was Bobby's wife, the one who was working out for MetaZoo. So that came
Okay.
full circle. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was yeah. They did it with Gamer Subs before Schlatt bought the company, and then it's really turned around since then. That dude
Yeah,
can
man.
run the company.
I mean, I know that you probably feel similarly because you like the Mothman as well, but I mean, the art on like the Mothman card that they put in the first one, like it's so cool. It was like I would have bought a cuddly Mothman plush based on that character art. Like they in my mind, I still feel like I feel like that dude had gold and flushed it down the toilet with wanting more gold.
Oh, he definitely did. And it is funny. I sold two Chibi Mothmans last week. Like people are still buying them. I
Really?
haven't. Yeah, I have like the original box of Cryptid Nation, like second whatever. I put those on TCG Player. I've not put any since then because I mean I'm only selling one or two every month or so, but people
The
keep coming
fact that
back and
it's
buying
selling
them,
at all is crazy.
right? No, that's I'm like maybe I should put the
I mean,
rest.
I've got a first edition box in the garage.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen the new art for the new MetaZoo?
N- No.
They went
I'm
away
I'm
from the
really
art style.
Oh, it's not even it doesn't even look unique anymore.
No, so it's really strange. They are using the same designs of the cryptids, but in different art styles. So they said it's to, open it up, let artists have a bit more expression with all that. But then you like look at these cards, and I mean, like shoot, what's the
And it looks like a
Alabama?
Magic the Gathering card or some shit.
Oh no, worse. No, it's bad. It looks bad. It's not
You
good. I
gotta
don't
send
like
me a
it.
link.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll send you a link after
That's
this.
really upsetting to me because I feel like in my mind, the quirky design and the actual meta part where they made cards that are like, you've got to bring a little potted plant and this will do extra damage or whatever the heck. Like that idea combined with the actual unique art should have taken them far. And
Yeah.
I just and they just he just wanted to do so many different things. It was just insanity to me. It really felt like maybe it was just a crypto rug pull the whole time. But it really sucks that you would waste that level of potential. Because even like the whole Sam Sinclair thing that like they did with like the comics and like we're gonna try and have this little Pokemon like IP. Yeah, that could have worked, and they really just screwed it.
I just forgot that I have all those MetaZoo comics. Like I bought a bunch of the original first prints and stuff.
Oh yeah,
I
I
think
got
that
some too.
yeah, now they're all worthless. I guess.
Yeah,
So it's like, oh, there goes all of the value I had.
I don't really mind that they're worthless because at the time I did like them. So to me, it's just going to be an interesting memory years from now. Um, but yeah, I mean that's the sad thing is that I actually thought it looked cool, but I guess the guy that made it didn't believe in his own shit well enough to try and make it work without all these stupid ass partnerships. Still think he ran it into the ground with terrible management.
I don't even think it was Mike. Like so, like the year before they lost a ton of money, they changed um the president. So like Mike was more like the creative side of it, and then they actually had someone who could run a business come in to run the business. But that person was like, that'd be really cool, buying a yacht. And then, like stealing a whole bunch of money from the company and then running it into the ground. And
I think that's a really good reason why you should just run your own company, even if you like. Why? I don't know. I've always heard, don't get into business with somebody else because you're giving them the power to screw you. Why would that be any different?
yeah, I don't know, but I mean sometimes it works. Like you look at Helldivers 2, what's his name? It's not whatever.
I
He
just
was
think
the
that the
president.
TCG space is
Yeah.
so impossible that you have to be somebody like James White, where you're just literally like, no, this is in my hands and I'm doing it. I mean, even if in the dev talks they talked about how he like goes away for one of his retreats and comes back with like 80% of the set or some shit.
Yeah. Which I don't know. I mean, new MetaZoo people were. I don't know. We'll see how the cards actually play. I think all I've seen is the art so far. But I mean, they've got a dream team of extremely influential, powerful TCG, market movers, right? Richard Garfield, one of the main, creators at Pokemon, some of the board members from like Magic the Gathering, like all these huge names in the industry all came together. Like this game can do something. So
Too
we'll
many
see what it
cooks in the
is.
kitchen to me.
Yeah, maybe because yeah, it sounds like they struck out on the art immediately. So
I mean, what you're telling me about the art, like changing the art is the last thing I would do. And that's really sad to hear that, because
Yeah.
I know that a lot of people ragged on the art, but I think that there were plenty of people that thought that it was, I don't know, what's the word that I'm trying to think of, that it's like it doesn't matter that it's ugly or a little bit different, it's just like, a model with a beauty mark, like it's an imperfection that
Oh yeah.
makes things better.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, and I like keeping the theme. I kind of wish they would have went a little harder in on like where the cryptids came from. I mean, you see the locations on the card, which is kind of what I find
Mm.
more fascinating than anything. Like I love reading about these weird cryptids I've never heard of and be like, oh, they're just a state over. I could go check out something, or I kind of wish they would have leaned more into that. I think they wanted to. Like Cryptid Nation had the big map, and it would show where all the cryptids were. And I kind of wish they would have kept something like that up, so you could see, either around the world or around the country where it was.
Yeah.
Kind of ties, more real life into it. Like I don't know. I grew up in Boy Scouts, and sending Weeblos on a snipe hunt is like one of the best things to do in camp, right? Your first, your,
Yeah, what was
uh,
that, Wilderness? They finally printed the snipe.
yeah, yep, yeah. So I like Wilderness. So, but yeah, it's just those little things and ghost stories used to tell around the campfire, and now those monsters are here, and it brings back that memory. It goes back to what I was talking about, like with Magic, where a lot of the times it's just nostalgia bait almost, but it works. It works. If it makes me feel happy, I get that dopamine rush. That's what I need, and I don't know. I like a good thematic set. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think that's about as much as I want to talk about tonight. We're 43 minutes over.
Oh gosh, we're real over. Yeah, we had a lot to talk about. But yeah. Actually, I'm trying to. Oh my gosh. There was one thing that left in the dev talk I wanted to talk about, and I totally blanked on what it was.
Oh, what was it, that High Seas is going to have pirates in it?
I mean, I'm very, very happy with how that went. I love that Brian, like through every event, even into this dev talk, was like, we just can't, promise pirates. I mean,
I
it's
I
no one knows. It's
absolutely loved his Blue Sky tweets about that. He's like, guys,
yeah.
just come on. There's so much stuff in the ocean. There's mermaids and fish and trash.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He was. Such a good bit. I really appreciate it. I love that James just finally spoiled it. We're getting pirates. I'm so excited.
Well, I mean, the very first thing that James White tweeted, like, "Yar, mateys," or some shit, and then like 5 minutes later, Brian was like, "Come on, guys, it doesn't have to have pirates."
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be mad if there's not a merchant. We see in the
I do think
hunted.
Cavdane's gonna come back. I think Rotten Remains is the little wink, like, hey, Cavdane's coming back.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I don't know if he's necessarily sea merchant
He's the
material, but I don't know.
No, he's the one, dude. He is 2 seconds away from having a hook hand. He's already
Yeah.
got a prosthesis.
I don't know. I don't think you can just keep lopping off arms from young heroes and old. I think
No, what do you
KO
mean?
KO's got that lined up.
Cavdane has a prosthetic arm. His left arm is already prosthetic.
Oh, it is. I guess. I have to look at my. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I think we're gonna get a new one. I think. I would honestly just like a set with another set with all new heroes. I don't know.
And what if they blew everybody's mind and they're like, Cavdane, merchant necromancer.
I mean,
Or
that
no,
would make
pirate
sense.
merchant necromancer.
No, no. Well, kind of like you were talking about, like pirates versus like Marines, like One Piece style.
Mm.
Pirates versus merchants would be great. And like I said, this set, the hunted, we have the hunted and the hunters, and so that
Actually,
the two
having somebody
sides,
that already has treasure to be stolen from would make sense.
right? I mean, realistically, let's go back. I mean, even Rosetta, we've got the two sides, we got the Earth and the Lightning. Well, Tails had like three sides. Most of these sets have like two competing sides, and the opposite of pirates is merchants in my eyes. It's either that or like military, like unless we get some like weird Imperials or
Yeah, that's the
we.
weird thing is that
Yeah,
like Drakai is like the closest thing we've seen to like some like real structured authority.
yeah,
Because we haven't really seen like the I assume king or maybe pope of Solana.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think it depends on where they go. If they're back to metrics, which is I think likely, like the water north of it. Then if we get a range, or if we get a ranger, I don't know. If we have a returning hero, I would bet it's Riptide.
Yeah, it would be cool if it was like Riptide, Cavdane. Mm.
That's it. I don't want to. I don't know. I don't like them bringing back a ton of old. I mean, one or two, maybe one maybe, but I don't know. Two
I don't mind
old
it at all
heroes.
because I think it's nice that they make new heroes all the time, but bringing old heroes back is important too. It's a good balance they need to strike.
Yeah, because I mean, people get attached to heroes. Um,
Plus, I
but
mean, people get attached to heroes for no good reason. Like Jarl Vitrethi wasn't even a character. They were just like, look at this dude on Mangle. I want to play as this dude. And like enough people said that. So it's like, well, you made the Silver Palms merchant thing, and then you made all these merchants, and people were all hype about merchants, just like people were hype about bards, and then you've eventually got to make a CC merchant. You've eventually got to make a CC bard. Like, I believe that.
yeah, that'd be so good. And actually, maybe we'll tie into this a bit. Um, they talked a lot about in the dev talk how close so many heroes are to Living Legend, and they're estimating 8 heroes leave or go enter Living Legend this year. Like, that's
I mean,
crazy. So,
Dash Inventor Extraordinaire hasn't won anything, but is like a sneeze away from LL anyway. So if she just like wins like a battle hardened or something, that'd be it.
yeah, no, but I mean, the meta is just gonna be so fresh. Like every time. Well, I don't know, and I think maybe that's where my head was kind of going with it.
I mean, as soon
As
as
a
Viserai LLs, there's every single person that was playing Viserai is going to buy Flick Knives.
yeah, that's where I was going. like what is Viserai gatekeeping, and then what is new gatekeeping, or what is like I don't know. We'll see. And because we have 20 heroes in the meta. If 8 of them hit LL, I mean that drops us back down to 12. Man, I hope all 3 sets this year have 4 heroes in them. Like I don't know.
I mean,
We had
if some
another
of the
3 hero.
fastest heroes in the set LL, like, I think Viserai, in my opinion, kind of makes Rhinar and like KO like really hard to play because they have a really hard time dealing with the split damage and then still coming back with like a 2 or 3 card hand. Because like Brood is like the closest thing in my mind to like a mid range deck that you sort of like grind back and forth and like not necessarily be aggro, not necessarily want to block out all the time. And I think Viserai just makes that way too hard, almost basically impossible.
Yeah, I just really want Viserai players to turn into Vincent players. Which
I mean, they probably will. A lot of that deck can translate. They all just want to make Rune Chance and go again.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. We've got an exciting year coming up. Um but and the reason I was thinking Riptide just because I forget what we talk about together versus like what we talk about on the podcast. is if you go into the lore, there is very specifically an entire Riptide story written about him hunting pirates around the shores or the coasts of Metrix.
I
So
mean, maybe Riptide could be who Cavdane has hired to, guard his boat from pirates.
yeah,
That'd
yeah.
be cool.
So yeah, a lot of interest. We still don't know what the green cards are going to be.
Well, that might not be. So that was nobody knows if that's real or not.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, nobody knows if that's real or not. That was allegedly put on LSS's site and then taken off immediately like it was a mistake. At least that is the story.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, maybe a mistake that they posted it so early.
Yeah, no. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Allegedly, that
yeah.
is what happened.
Allegedly. Yeah.
But also, somebody could have just made that all up.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Well, I mean, because like the High Seas trailer dropped early by accident too. Like, I don't think they intended to drop it when they did. I mean, not by
What?
much, right? Like the
I didn't know. I didn't hear anything about that. I don't know what you're talking about.
oh, really? No, the High Seas like spoiler stuff. I think hit the website before it hit the stream, if I recall correctly. And then they immediately took that off as well. And then I was under the impression that's why they went ahead with the High Seas when they did. I don't think they intended to reveal it when they did.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
So
didn't realize that.
yeah. I mean, that's what I've read. I don't know how true it is. I'm just it's hearsay.
I think it would be cool if there is a green strip. Listen, that whoever wrote that has some good ideas, even if they're not real.
Yeah, I don't know. My worry is how like Magic has like automobile sets. Like this year we're getting like a whole I forgot what set it is. But an
Yeah, I know
entire
what you're
Magic set
talking
based
about. I
around
hate
like NASCAR and race cars. I hope if they're doing a boat set, it's not obnoxious. Like I don't know.
Oh yeah, no. I don't want vehicles, and I don't need everybody to have an ally vehicle paddle boat. Like what I'm hoping for, what I'm expecting, is a location fable that is the ship.
Yeah. I don't know. A ship. I don't know. We'll see. I still think like there's so many cool things in the ocean that could be a landmark.
Like,
Over
listen, okay,
about,
so
like-
you know how I said about how Silver Palms was horrible and that giving your
Yeah.
opponent an extra card to make a silver is just terrible? What if Cavdane's whole thing is, and before you say, oh, well, if it's a fabled boat, then he's going to have a fable for a deck. Yeah, fuck it. He's a merchant. Make him have a fable for his deck to work. Um, and then, like, what if it's like, oh, well, you can, once per turn, you can sacrifice a silver and do X, Y, or Z for this boat. And you can only do, and so, like, if you have 3 silver, you could do all 3 different things, or like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of room there because Silver Palms is horrible the way that I know it now. But if you made some extreme payoffs for the merchant class's silver, you could maybe convince me that giving the opponents a card isn't so bad. But it would have to be real good.
Yeah. I was trying to think. Is this the third time that someone's done like complete buyouts of almost or the silver? Because I remember it being bought out before. I
What,
think
is a cold foil silver got bought out? I didn't even know.
or not silver, the palms. The palms got bought
Oh.
out a couple times before.
Oh
Usually
yeah,
when
it's
it
been
hits-
bought out before.
Yeah, and then it never pays off. It never
It's
pays
gotta
off.
it's gotta pay off eventually.
Yeah, one day. One day it'll pay off. It ain't gonna be today.
If somebody did buy it out, like, hold on. 3 of them sold like 2 weeks ago. I mean, they're still only $20. I mean, I wouldn't try and buy this out.
Oh,
but I
someone was
mean,
trying to buy it out. Wait, was it?
I just
really
think
that
it's
many?
impossible to buy out, man. There's 25 listings. But I mean, I'm glad I already have mine. If a merchant does become a thing, I'll be ready for it. I don't need to sit on 20 of these and then resell them when they become $150, no matter how fun that might be.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think thematically we have to have merchants, and I think
I
the
can't wait
Fable
to
isn't
make
a
the
location.
meme
I don't know. I
because
I what?
I want to make the Silver Palms meme for Silver Palms so that like whenever this thing actually blows up, I'm going to put a picture of Silver Palms real tiny in the palm of the Silver Palms.
Okay. Oh, okay. Now I don't know. I think the Fable has to be treasure. I don't think a location will do it justice.
How do you
Really,
make a fable that is just fucking treasure? Like
I don't
whenever
know.
you pitch
There's
this,
a
make a gold. When you pitch this,
well,
make a silver.
no, no. I mean, not like literally treasure, but literally. I mean, well, actually, literally treasure, but like, I don't know, like something you'd expect to find in a treasure chest, like maybe as a goblet or
A balloon.
the balloon would be cool, right? Or like maybe a platinum piece, or like maybe this is where we go above gold finally.
Are they gonna call it what's that piratey thing? A piece of 8 or something?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I don't think that was just pirates, but uh,
I'm just saying that's probably from Pirates of the Caribbean or something. I don't even remember what it's from.
well, no, I mean, a piece of 8 isn't just. I mean, that was just a currency back in the day. Because what they would do is they'd have big, like, coins with like marks on them, and then if you needed to pay for part of it, you would just break off part of it. Like a piece of 8 would be one piece of the 8 sections on the coin. So that's where a piece of 8 comes from. But
Cat is trying to fucking kill me.
oh, I know. But no, no. Look at for silver palms. Don't look at. See, it says total sold 5. And this is this will be another warning to all the listeners, all one or two of you out there. The total sold on all of TCG Player is wrong. None of it is correct. You can't go buy it. Like, if you hit, it says total sold 5. You go to view more data. There's been 5 sold in like the last 3 days.
Well, I
The
think
amount.
that is set to like. Let me see.
Well, yeah. Look
Yeah,
at
so if
2-8.
you press the one Y button, the total sold changes to 21.
Yeah, but more than 21 has sold since Monday. Or when's the 8th? Sorry, not Monday. Last Saturday. Like, look at view more data. This is the buyout I was telling you about on Saturday. 2, 3, 4.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Maybe the ones that count as sold don't actually hit the snapshot until they're paid or
Yeah,
not
I don't
paid, but
know.
marked delivered or whatever.
Maybe, but yeah, I mean, 24 sold last Saturday. So that's the buyout I was thinking about. The most recent one. Yeah. Well, I mean, because it was as soon as the high seas news came out. I thought you were the one who told me about it, and then like I immediately went on, or maybe you just made a joke about silver palms, and then I popped on, and then it was like someone was buying them all out.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any hint of a merchant, then people will buy out silver palms because they think that they're big brained.
I
Meanwhile, everybody knows you're supposed to buy the shit that it's like you go buy the trash when it's trash and then wait for a support to be printed.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna say optically, I think optics Cavdan as a sea merchant is bad juju. I was actually just thinking about that. The trader of skins, uh, sailing boats around with people or
Yeah, I
skins.
mean, he probably have sails made out of skin. I don't see what the issue is,
I don't
really.
know. I think traders trading skin or flesh is not uh great, but I don't know.
It's half of the flesh and blood. He's got to trade the
Yeah,
flesh. Yeah,
yeah.
the adult version will be trader of blood.
No, I think he's probably selling people.
No, I mean, so maybe. But
Yeah.
in his art, he's got like a palm full of flesh, like he's maybe buying and selling cadavers to make, you know, undead servants because he's a merchant necromancer.
Maybe. He does have a
I
head
mean, that's
mounted right
one way
behind
to
him.
make slavery just slightly more palatable is to be like, oh, well, he's not actually enslaving people. These are zombies. He just bought their body parts.
I can't believe that a cold foil Cavdan promo is less than $4 now.
Buy them out. Fuck it.
I'm about to. I'm trying to remember. I think the
But the only
first.
problem is that those are the old cold foils where nothing on him is going to be cold foil. The only thing that is cold foil is the pits border. I know because I have one.
Yeah, I'm just fairly certain. I might be able to look it up. I think I paid $50 for that.
Oh yeah, all you'd have to do is go into your search into your history and set it to all time and search Cavdane. You'll be able to see.
Yeah, yeah, because it used to be a big money card. Like, oh god, do I look that up? Do I want to cry right now? Is that?
I know I
Yeah.
love. You just have to have a good one to remember to go back to. I go back and look at my Fable CNC purchases all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I definitely have a bunch of good ones. But I mean, they're like, oh, you bought 50 cards for 25 cents and now you sold them all for $5. Isn't that cool? I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But I don't know if that outweighs me spending like $50 on a card and now it being $4.
Yeah, but that's only one card. You only screwed up that one time.
Right? No.
Not any of the other times.
Oh, actually, I bought one recently for $5. Oh, there's the one I bought for $41.
Ouch.
Ooh.
But I think that we should call it.
Yeah, we can call it. All right.
All right, everyone. This is a zero gauge goodbye. Let me know if it makes it to next week without turning into a Pringle. Goodbye.